Our new partner who I'm really, really excited to announce we are working with. Super, super stoked. Thank you, Angie Huberman, for this connect. It's incredible. AG1 Athletic Greens. I've been using them for a while. I have them every morning on an empty stomach. Basically, take one scoop and you put it into a cup or glass or mug of 8 ounces of cold water. And this is all your greens for the day. You're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. Every day I take this. It's so good for my digestion, my energy. It's simple. It's easy. I don't like taking a lot of vitamins. This has been really, really helpful for me. I've had a lot of stomach issues my whole life, and ever since I've been gluten-free and taking the AG1s, it's really helped me in my stomach in the mornings. I love it, and I'm so psyched that they're part of the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm sure a lot of people don't like eating greens, let alone drinking your greens, but I can tell you straight up, it's got a mild tropical taste, and the taste is actually really refreshing, and I really look forward to it each morning. Don't think it's just going to be just straight bland. It tastes really, really good, and it's good for you, so remember that. This one blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It's incredible, just one scoop, especially for musicians who are vegans or just musicians in general who want to get those daily greens. You can get the packets. It's incredible. I just gave some to my friend Derek from Sepultura. He traveled the whole entire world this summer, and he had those every single day. He said it saved him. I bring AG1s with me when I travel. It helps me stay healthy. You know the deal. If you're on tour and you are a picky eater, but you need to have your greens, sometimes catering doesn't have greens. Sometimes you miss the catering. Sometimes you miss the backstage food. Sometimes it's too late after the show to go get food that you like. So if you just have a scoop of AG1s in your hotel room before you go to bed, or you're in the hotel room at night and you're starving and you want something healthy, boom, life changer. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with some convenient daily nutrition. That's all you need, one scoop in a cup every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. This is it. I'm super psyched. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. Take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. This is incredible. I love it. It's just basic greens. For me personally, this has changed my life tremendously. I'm not a junk food vegan. I don't eat a lot of fake meats, so I'm strictly greens. And this has been a wonderful, wonderful new addition to my life. So once again, visit drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. Get 1 free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115. With the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. And if you want to get water, Liquid Death water, go to amazon.com. But for merchandise and other things that's not water, go to liquiddeath.com/Toby and get free shipping. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst, stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives. All right. Check. Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. I don't know how to intro this guy, man. This has been fucking 4 years in the making. And so happy you could be here. One of the busiest friends that I have on the planet. Fucking Travis Barker, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Stoked.
And I know you fucking hate talking. You don't like doing podcasts, so I'm psyched that you're here. You've only done a couple podcasts too, huh?
Yeah, I've only done a few.
What you do? Like Rich Roll, Rogan?
That's really it.
Yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah.
I'll put you close.
I always feel like less is more.
Yeah. So you don't like to talk much, really?
Yeah, I kind of like more of an observer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And we won't talk about drums today because I know you hate talking about drums as well. But yeah, I mean, lots have happened. Just in the past year or two, a lot's happened in your life too, man. It's fucking insane changes with your life. From like about to have a baby, getting married, flying again. so many different things that happen in your life. It's pretty amazing to watch, you know?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
It's crazy.
It kind of sometimes gives me anxiety thinking about how much there was and then how much I've overcame, but
Yeah.
it's just a lot, you know?
Yeah. But your life, it seems like it's just totally changed dramatically past couple years.
Yeah. I mean, everything you just mentioned had a big effect on my life.
Yeah.
I guess flying right off the bat, yeah, that changes things quite a bit.
Yeah, it was how many years for you not flying?
Since 2008, since my plane crash.
Wow.
Yeah, up until a year ago I started flying.
Yeah.
So I'm getting ready to go to Europe right now. So just for example, Europe, it would take me 6 to 8 days comfortably to get to here to New York.
Yeah, because you go to New York and take that Queen Mary or something.
Yeah, I would take a bus from LA to New York and then board the Queen Mary 2 and then another 10 days.
Take the Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
I remember texting you one time while you're on the boat, and even that was kind of scary sometimes.
Yeah, the boat, you're in the middle of the ocean, the middle of the Atlantic, so you don't see land for 10 days. And then
Dude.
Yeah, we've hit weather before. I mean, we've been out there when there's 30-foot waves, 70-mile-per-hour winds.
That's fucking scary.
The ocean is so powerful, and you don't really think about it till you're out there, and then you're like, wow. But I think my thought process at that time was, you know, flying over the ocean. If I crash in the ocean, I'm done.
Yeah.
At least I'm in a boat in the ocean, and it's a slower process. I think anything to slow it down, because being in a plane crash, you don't have a chance to. You don't have any decision making. You don't have any. You don't have any way to affect the situation.
Yeah.
You're completely out of control. It happens so fast.
Yeah, the boat, you can jump in the water, have like a life preserver or something. And
Yeah.
kind of like
I used to
make
think
it.
like, yo, I could swim. I could. I don't know. I could just. I stood a chance, and I loved that for a long time, and then, long story short, fell in love with one of my best friends, and I don't know.
She inspired you to fly, basically.
Yeah, it's just amazing the things you might overcome when you're with someone that empowers you like that. But I had a deal with her where she would kind of talk about it with me and say, I would love to go here with you. I'd love to do this with you, this, that. And me, it was like wishful thinking, but in my head, I'm like, man, this kills me.
Yeah.
I'm never going to do any of this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I got to be honest and transparent with her. It's probably never going to happen. And then I said, hey, if you ever want to try to get me to fly, don't tell me. Give me about 8 to 10 hours notice. And that way I don't have a way to talk myself out of it or get myself, think too much. So that's what she did. And at the time I was doing a lot of breath work. I was already doing breath work a lot.
That helps.
Yeah, because I think for a long time I was holding on to so much trauma.
I'm sure, man.
From a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know any better. We can talk about that later. But we did breath work the day before. And then she told me that night, we're going to Mexico tomorrow. So,
Damn.
I tried to get rid of her. When we went to sleep, I was like, hey, you could go home. Whatever. I was like, I think I might just sleep by myself tonight. I tried all sorts of things.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize I was doing it. I was just it's I was trying to figure out ways where I could just disappear and not have to go on the flight. And then she was awesome. She didn't let me. She's like, no, I'm staying the night with you. I'm not going to leave.
Yeah.
We're going to wake up in the morning. We're going to go to the airport.
Damn.
So, it was pretty...
Was it super stressful?
No, I think
being with her was probably calming. Yeah.
Yeah, and I the last memory I have of a plane is pretty awful and traumatic.
Yes.
For people who don't know, I'm the only survivor from a plane crash that killed 5 people.
Yeah.
And then I tried maybe a few years later. My daughter Alabama, she had a field trip that was going to an aviation place.
Okay.
It was like an aviation field trip. And my daughter and I just looked at a plane, and she was like, Dad, let's walk on. And then she walked on and she started bawling. because she knows what happened.
Yeah.
She knows,
How old were they when that happened? Were they super young?
Alabama was really young. Alabama and Landon were probably like, I don't know, 3 and 6.
Okay,
or
yeah.
I don't know, somewhere around there.
So they really haven't flown either.
No, they've never flown in their life.
Wow, until you did, yeah.
Yeah, so they had a lot of, unfortunately, they carried a lot of my trauma with them, which I never wanted. But so she would associate planes with like dad almost dying, dad being in a burn center, 70% of his body being burnt, his best friends passing away, like 2 pilots passing away. So that's what she associated planes with. So, and it got me emotional just seeing her be like that. So I had a lot of I had my own idea of what I thought flying would be like again, but it was actually the opposite. Like I went in, it was like also like a really nice plane.
Yeah.
And I was with Court, and it just, I don't know. None of what I thought would have happened. Yeah. Like I didn't get really stressed out. I was stressed like during takeoff, because takeoff's when my plane crash happened. And I always, in my head, if someone said, "Hey, what do you think will happen if you ever try to fly?" I'd probably be like, might have a heart attack. You know, that's what I thought I would, you know?
Yeah.
But it was actually, once I got through takeoff, it was not what I thought it was. I got through it, and
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I was like stronger than what I thought I was. And I think for me, I hated being controlled by something.
Yeah.
That really, like, it really took its toll on me over time. Like, I think I would just do it because I didn't have a choice. The long bus rides. I'd leave the tour 30 days before everyone else did.
It's crazy,
I'd get home 30 days after. So, I just didn't ever think life could be any different. But that was, it was definitely like a breakthrough for me.
Yeah. I remember seeing that or talking about it. I was like, holy crap, it's huge, man. It's such a big deal. It's like probably walking off that plane the first flight too. Like, holy shit, I did that. Then after that, start doing more. It's just like, I'm sure everyone's different. Like you told me a couple of times you walked on, you weren't really feeling the vibe, or maybe you didn't take that flight, or just feeling it out.
I've walked off a couple, like just small things where like I would know the wing number, and then I'd get there and it was a different wing number and different pilots.
Okay.
Because I think I'm really like, it means a lot to me to be able to figure out like who's flying the plane.
Yeah.
The experience they have, that the plane has had certain, kind of, up to par, like maintenance.
So you're checking all that stuff.
Yeah, like
damn.
Horrible, funny, terrifying stories. Like my 3rd flight we did, I'm in the plane and I'm with her and I'm with like some of her family. They're all great flyers. They don't think about anything. And I always like look at people like that. I'm like, damn, that's beautiful. Like you travel without any hesitation, like you have no trauma.
Just go, yeah.
For me, I associate flying and traveling with dying. That's what I associate it with.
Yeah.
So we're in the plane, we take off, and then we're still like, getting up to like our flight route or whatever elevation we're supposed to be at, and my ears suddenly like start popping, and I'm like, this is weird. It's like we're landing.
Oh yeah.
And then I look up and the pilot's looking back at me and he's grabbing his oxygen mask. And everyone's looking at me because I'm the elephant in the room. Any flight, they're like, this guy's been in a plane crash. Like,
yeah.
How you doing, Trav? Like, whatever. They usually say a little something extra to me, and I'm like, thank you, appreciate it, whatever. But these guys are like looking back at me. The flight attendant, like the stewardess is talking to them, and they're trying to close the door real quick. And I see what's going on, and then I'm like, babe, I swear we're losing cabin pressure. Like my ears are popping. She's like, no, there's not a chance. I'm like, yeah, pretty positive. He just put his oxygen mask on. And then we go up there and they're like, yes, there's a malfunction with the plane. We're losing cabin pressure. We might have to make an emergency landing. And I'm like, please don't do any cowboy shit. Just land the plane. Please don't try to be a hero.
Yeah.
Please don't do anything extra. I've lived through it. Just land the plane.
And the pilots know about the stuff you've been through, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So long story short, they figured it out. They like fixed it. It was like a computer system in the plane. Luckily, it was like fixed. If it wasn't fixed in the next like 15 minutes, we would have had to land. But it was just like,
that's your third one back.
Of course, this can happen to me. You know?
Scary, dude.
Yeah.
And so it's been good since then, though. You've been like, what, 20 flights or almost?
Yeah, I like my last 5 or 6 flights I did by myself. Like my daughter Alabama was with me.
Wow.
And I was just on tour solo because for a while there it was all with my wife, and then I just like figured it out, and like I don't have control over everything. I had to accept that.
Yeah, so this would be the first time going to Europe flying.
It's dolo. Yeah, I went for my wedding.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I got married over there.
That's right.
So yeah, this will be my first big long flight.
That was a cool special, Till Death Do Us Part. You guys did.
Thank you.
That was awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, it was majority of it was filmed on iPhones, so we didn't. Despite what anyone might assume, like my wife's not crazy about filming. I guess anyone that knows, I guess there is like a ongoing storyline that she always doesn't want to film or doesn't want to be on the show. So it was a beautiful thing. Like our friend Pierre was there and he was filming. He had like a little camcorder, like lo-fi camera, and then iPhones, and we just put together like this little video that was originally just going to be for us.
Yeah, it's nice though.
And then we felt, because it was edited and it was curated by us for us, that it was cool that it could just go wherever and like the world could see it. But it was nice. I think no matter who you are, unless you're like really a pro, when someone puts a camera in front of you, you might feel a little different or be insecure or uncomfortable. So like, I didn't know. Like, I think there's footage right before I walked out, and Pierre was there, and it was like just me in my room, and I
saw that. Yeah.
I was just like chilling. I was listening to Purple Rain. I was listening to Prince. That's all I wanted to listen to before I went out there.
That's
and
dope.
Called my dad, told him I loved him, but it was like one of those things where like, you would almost expect the person in the room to give you your privacy and leave. Yeah. And he knew that was like a moment, and he stayed there, but he wasn't intrusive, and he could just be a fly on the wall. So I'm really thankful that we have like that footage.
Yeah. I mean, what's it like for you? Like, obviously you had Meet the Barkers back in the day, and you've been in the public eye for your whole career and your whole life, but now it seems it's more magnified now. Is that stressful for you? The cameras and lights all the time?
I try to stay away from it. Yeah. Yeah. It's
cool seeing you on the show and stuff because I know you.
Yeah, if they ask me like, hey, we're just happened to be filming today, like, or on tour, she'd be like, hey, my sister's gonna come visit me. Like, I think on the next season, Kim comes and visits her. So like, it happens pretty organically, and Kim has cameras with her, and she's coming to the show. So that's a lot of the times how it'll end up. Yeah. And I don't mind doing that, but I think if it's my choice, I'm like, I could probably just chill today or whatever. Maybe I won't be around. But if it's just really organic and it happens, then I'm cool with it.
Yeah, one of the things I really love about you, I know you through all these years, is always just being you. And like, even just talking about a million times to make this podcast happen, you're like, I want to do it in person. Like, I don't want special treatment. And I love that about you, that you stayed the same person the whole time of knowing you through everything you've been through. I think it's awesome, man.
Oh, thank you.
It's really fucking amazing to see. And just seeing you, how happy you're now with your lady and having a baby and all that. It's just like, I get stoked for my friends, and just seeing that happen with you. It's like, but you're still the same person.
Thank you. I know we talked about doing it so many times, and there was even
I was
like,
come to you
there
on
was
tour.
like, yeah, you're going to come to me on tour, but I really didn't like that. I didn't want any special treatment.
No, but I love that about you. Yeah.
I wanted to just be here like everyone else.
Yeah, man.
You know,
it's cool. Just your journey and stuff and everything you've been through, and like, even now with Blink back and all that stuff, it's just awesome, man. It's really fucking awesome, man. What do you think it is that keeps you? I don't know. I guess you stay connected because you stay connected to music too. We talk about music all the time. Obviously, you took Turnstile on tour. We went and saw Speed and Trapped Under Ice together. You like Scowl. Like, you're still like, you have your ear to the streets too. You're working with so many different young artists. You have DTA Records. Like, you're still like being so creative in other genres of music. You've always been like that though. Hip hop, everything.
I can't veer from who I am. It's hard. It's like, I feel really uncomfortable. Even just, I notice like small things. Even if I don't play drums every day, I feel uncomfortable. If I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't know. It means a lot to come home from tour and go, see you guys in Grill Biscuits.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. That was so fun.
Show up by myself.
So great.
And play with you guys. Or
Last minute Steez was great.
Yeah,
dude.
that stuff like makes me feel alive. And really just.
It's being connected too.
I'm pretty normal, and I like to. I don't know. I like to practice and exercise that as much as possible.
Yeah, and just get out and people are psyched when you come out too, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I love that. Like, I don't know. I just.
We always been like that as a kid. You always didn't just like always like I don't know. I mean, you're born in Fontana, right?
Yeah.
So growing up in there, that's the IE.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you like that as a kid too? Were you always an outgoing person?
I grew up like skateboarding.
Yeah.
Like riding BMX.
Yeah.
Loved all that. Playing drums like since I was like 4, like pots and pans until.
Yeah. So your mom bought your first kit for you and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also like in the band and at school and all that stuff.
Yeah, I was into like marching band and jazz band in junior high, and then I was kind of going different directions. Kind of just navigating through life out there. Like at one point, I loved skateboarding more than I did playing drums.
Wow.
And like, even though the beach was an hour away, like somehow going to the beach and like surfing or bodyboarding every like few weeks.
Were you a good skater?
I was.
Tricks?
You know what? I was good enough to like have fun. But I was bad enough for all my friends to be like, "You're way better at playing drums." So
okay.
that was important. But it was funny. I would use my drumming to be able to go and skate like ramps in my neighborhood. Like they'd be like, "Dude, you got to learn like Metallica Master of Puppets from front to back, or you can't come skate our ramp."
Wow.
And I'd be like, "Okay." So
Holy shit.
I'd invite like Mike Davis and this guy Frank over, and I would play some Master of Puppets for them, and then I could go skate.
Wow.
So that's how I got through and, use drumming to kind of like be able to skate with people I like idolize. But skateboarding was, even though I wasn't great at it, it like taught me how to like dress. It taught me like what music I liked. It taught me, I don't know, it taught me like, getting your ass whipped on a skateboard just eating shit is like so humiliating and like painful, and it's like I don't know, I feel like it made me. So I loved all that, and then I got kind of confused and kind of drifted a little bit, and then my mom passed away literally the day before high school, and then I really I think I became like introverted. I put all my time and attention into music and playing the drums. Yeah. And just countless hours of like locking myself in the room and just figuring stuff out. Like I would take out ads in papers, like in like Mean Street magazine and
sick.
Basically every magazine that was at Spanky's Cafe. Like Spanky's Cafe was my everything. Like grew up
going to shows there.
Every show there, yeah. So like I would make like musicians wanted to make band that sounds like blah 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 blah. I'd put like King Diamond, Slayer, Sepultura. The next one would be like, make a band like Descendants, Gorilla Biscuits, whatever. I would just put all these musicians wanted things to put bands together. And
now you do it at a young age too. That's cool.
Yeah, that was my dream. I was like 15 playing with like 30-year-olds. Like guitar players that loved like Yngwie Malmsteen or Megadeth. I would do anything musically just made me happy. I was in a skinhead band like when I was 15, when I was really listening to like metal music, and they just shaved their head and played like Cure songs really fast. It felt like to me,
Was that the band Poor Mouth?
Poor Mouth was more of like grunge era sounding music. It was more like Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Screaming Trees vibes.
And it was like Jinx.
Yeah, Jinx was a straight up like rock band.
Sick.
Feeble was my first punk band.
Okay. And there was like Psycho Butterfly.
Yeah, that like fell in. Like these bands were like maybe had 1 or 2 shows. It would just be like kind of I mean, any different than like a lot of bands today, just like rotating members, and you would call it something different.
Yeah.
But
those are the first groups, though, right, for you?
Yeah. Feeble was the first one where I was in this kind of stage of my life where I had just turned 18. My dad's awesome, and he's also very strict.
Yeah.
Like Vietnam vet, biker.
Military vibe, yeah.
Yeah. And he said, hey, when you turn 18, you either start paying rent here and you work 60 plus hours a week, or you got to go.
Damn.
And I was like, okay. So I like busted my ass to try to get, like, at the time it was like a really cool job to work at Target warehouse or something like that. And it was like good paying money, and I was just like unloading boxes off a truck every day. And I remember calling the guys from Feeble, and I was like, it looks like it's a wrap, man. Like, I really loved playing with you guys, but like Pops is saying, military was the other thing.
Yeah.
It's like you either go to the military or you start paying rent, And
damn.
I told Noel, and I was like, dude, I think it's, I don't think I'm going to be able to play with you guys no more. And he was like, man, I really, really think you're making a big mistake. I think, like, you're so talented. It's a waste of talent. Like, come live at my house. I'll try to get you a job at the city, play in the band. Like, you can get a job anytime, dude. Like, I want you. You're supposed to play music.
Wow.
Mark my words. And then next thing you know, I'm driving out with my friend Randy to Laguna Beach. I'm crashing on Noel's couch, and he got me a job at the city being a trash man.
That's right.
Best years of my life. Like, skateboarding every day, trash man in Laguna Beach, the most beautiful beach in Southern California, playing in a punk rock band, playing at bars, playing anywhere we could. Just like, also seeing, like, we're in like punk scenes at the time where Blink, ironically, is like releasing Cheshire Cat, and Big Drill Cars playing shows, and I don't know, just like this little scene, like Game Face. I don't know if you remember all those bands, but that's kind of like what was popping. Like Volcom had just started a punk label, like record label. The Descendants were getting back together. Like it was just such a cool time.
It's a beautiful time.
Yeah. Epitaph Summer Nationals, like,
I remember that,
Yeah.
So did you graduate from high school?
I did, just barely. I had a hard time in high school. Like, I was really close to my mom, and she would help me with everything. Like, the time of her passing, she was as good as a drummer as I was. Like, she would go to every kind of like sit in like practice sessions with me. If I took lessons to learn how to read music, she was there. I was really close to her. So like, high school was tough. My girlfriend at the time, this girl Michelle, really held me down and like kept me together. But I was getting horrible grades. I think all my teachers just felt for me. Like, he's a mess, And my dad, I mean, my pops was there, but he was such like a just tough dad, which I mean, also shaped me, but he wasn't there like, hey kid, you need someone to talk to? Are you good? There was none of that. So, it was just navigating.
So just like mourning your mom and having somebody to talk to, or your sisters, anything like that was hard. Like, your dad was just very like.
Yeah, just it was like introverted and just practice my ass off. Like, yeah.
And so was Aquabats already a band when you got in that band?
Yeah, I was playing in Feeble. Chad was in a band called BHR, Butthole Rebellions.
Okay.
We were playing like punk shows. Feeble played with them, and he came up and he was like, damn, dude, like, you're really good or something. And I was like, oh, thank you, man. Like, love like BHR. He's like, I'm in this other band, the Aquabats. And I was like, okay, cool. Just kind of talked for a minute, and then next thing you know, I get a call like, hey, dude, you want to come jam with us? Like, our drummer just quit. We have a show tomorrow with Fishbone.
Fuck.
I'm like, yes. I would see like Fishbone, the Skeletons, Voodoo Glow Skulls, like those were the bands like
you go see.
Grew up seeing.
Did you go to the barn too? Bill Fold had the barn.
Yeah,
like that,
Falling Sickness, Assorted Jelly Beans. That's what was happening at the time in Riverside.
Damn. And Aquabats, were they always dressing up like that? That was your thing back then, or no?
Yeah, I had no idea though. Chad in like BHR is just like punk. It's like gutter mouth or whatever was
Gutter
like,
mouth,
you know, those vibes. And I was like, cool, yeah, like I'll play with your band. And I show up there and they're like okay, learn the songs. Kind of noticed the album covers way out. They're wearing these things, but I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I don't. Am I gonna wear that? I don't even think that.
Yeah.
And then I show up there and they're like, okay, here's your costume.
Sign up for this.
And all my friends, like I grew up with like, I remember my friends Ricardo and Damien, who were like my, just like my day ones, and Wilmer. All my friends were Hispanic that I grew up with in Fontana.
Yeah.
So they come and they're just clowning me. They're like, you're playing like, yeah, you are playing a sick show at the Glass House with Fishbone, but look, like you're dressed like that. Like they were just dying, you know? It was so funny, but
they were doing pretty good back then, though, right? Too.
I mean, yeah, they were opening for Fishbone. I mean, that's
a big deal, yeah.
By far the biggest show I ever played in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Back then. Now we're probably playing like 500 people or something back then. It's pretty big, yeah.
Yeah, that's huge for me.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you're just playing music. Are you working a job when you're out of school at all?
Always, yeah. I was looking at like
besides the track,
warehouse music. Yeah, like I was just doing like oddball jobs. I would come home like. One point there was this woman who was like an attorney, and she let me like file papers, but she would really just like, I think just wanted me there because her daughter was really into the Aquabats and like the scene. It was like such a weird time. So like, yeah, it would be Aquabats would tour. We would tour with like Toy Dolls, The Specials, like Goldfinger, whoever we would tour with, and then I'd come home, Madness, and then I'd have 2 months. I'd have to find a job.
Wow.
And then go back out, you know.
Did Aquabats play with Blink back then too?
Yeah, so Snowcore.
Snowcore
is where it all happened. It was Primus, Blink.
That's like 98 or something? Oh, no.
Something like that, yeah. Maybe 99, 98, 99.
That was the big tours back then, Snowcore through Canada and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Alcoholics were on there.
Yes.
It was cool. So I was on that with Aquabats, and then it's kind of when I met everyone. You know, it was just all those bands were together. And
was there a Suicide Machines tryout in the middle of that somewhere?
So at the end, it was right after Snowcore, and I think we were playing we were direct support for Blink at the time. Aquabats
Crazy.
Was. After Snowcore, you know, you go off and do your one-offs, and we were supporting Blink, and same thing happened. I was always lucky enough and just blessed enough to be like there with the right timing, I guess. And Blink said, our drummer, it's like an hour before the show. It's an hour before Aquabats go on.
Damn. And
they're like, our drummer just bailed. Can you learn the set? Because we're going to lose a ton of money. We might have to cancel shows.
Damn.
So yeah, went in the dressing room, kind of listened to the songs with them. Tom played a little guitar.
Fuck.
I was like, okay, play the Aquabat set, get on stage, play the Blink set. And then...
It's crazy.
Yeah, they're like stoked. Oh my gosh, that was so good. That was better.
How old are you then? You 20s?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, man, that was like our best show. We've never sounded better. I'm like, oh, cool, thanks. You know, whatever. I'm still playing with like Aquabats.
Yeah.
Filling for like the next 3 shows. When I get home from that tour, like our last show, they're like, man, we would really love to have you in our band.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
was Blink a big deal back then at that point?
We were playing, I don't know, I'd say like 2,000 seaters,
That's
maybe.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's big back then.
Like
Yeah,
Santa Barbara Bowl is like our biggest show, I think.
Were you a Blink fan at all?
Yeah,
Okay,
I was.
yeah,
Because like back in the day, like Feeble, we were in like, I've witnessed Cheshire Cat, and I like all that stuff. And from Fluff, rest in peace, whatever. There was like all these connections to them, but I didn't know them yet. And yeah, so we got home from that tour. They had said, we'd really like somehow you to be our drummer. And I said, well, you have a drummer. If anything ever happens, hit me up. I'd love to.
Yeah.
Around the same time, like Suicide Machines.
That's right.
Derek leaves or something happens. They're like, want to come jam? Like, I was really close with Dan and Jay.
Detroit.
Jay with that band, yeah. And I was a big Suicide Machines fan. We would also play shows with Aquabats.
Yeah.
I went out to Detroit, It was snowing.
Brutal.
I stayed at one of their apartments and jammed a few times, and I just kept being like, "Where do you skate? Like, is there anywhere to skate?" And they're like, "Dude, it's snowing.
Yeah, yeah.
We're just chilling in the house, smoking cigarettes." And I'm like, "Okay." And then
that's all we do.
Yeah, so that was cool. But when I got home, I remember I was living with Bill Fold, 98 Posse.
Dope.
I was also living with Bill, who's also a big reason why everything, I don't know, he just happened, and he was just so good to me. Him at the time, if people don't know,
shout out to Bill Fold.
Yeah, the Barn.
Yes.
Sometimes Orange Show Pavilion in San Bernardino. Any punk, rave, hardcore, rap, any kind of shows that happened out there, it was either at Showcase Theater with Ezot or Bill Fold. Bill Fold now with Golden Voice does Coachella, like, you know.
Crazy, yeah,
so he's been like, he took care of me, you know, after I left home and I was in the Aquabats. I was living with Bill. So I remember coming home to Bill being like, dude, I don't know, should I join the Suicide Machines or Blink? And he wasn't the biggest Blink fan. He's like, dude, just stay in the Aquabats. Are you kidding me? And he was like looking after the Aquabats. And I did. That was one of the reasons I loved the Aquabats. I loved Christian, Chad. I loved all the guys so much. Like, that was like such a family and such like a great group of brothers.
Yeah.
And then there's Bill. And I'm like, man. And Paul Tillett from Golden Voice signed us to we were the first band on Golden Voice Records.
That's right.
So there's all these things I really loved about it. But I remember sitting there talking to him. I'm like, I kind of want to join Suicide Machines, but I don't know if I wasn't able to skate for however many days when I was in Detroit. It was hard, and we only played a few times. And then I'm like, Blink, there's only 3 members. It's like touring in a van's going to be so easy. That was my mindset at the time. Touring in a van with 3 people is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Rather than 12. So yeah, I made my decision, and I was like, I'm going to play in Blink, you know?
Damn.
Because I got that phone call right after I got home from Detroit, and they're like, we have a show in San Diego. You're going to play in 2 days.
It's like 1998.
Yeah.
Damn. And that's it, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And then the next record is Enemy of the State after that.
Yeah.
And that's like a fucking... It's just a life changer, man. That's your first record with them? It's crazy, man.
Because I got in the band and I was touring Dude Ranch and Cheshire Cat.
That's right, Dude. Yeah.
Playing all those songs, and then we started writing, and then that's when it like just was like, yeah, that's when I knew.
It's crazy, dude. For that to be your first record, like, it's insane.
Yeah.
That's like a life changer, right?
Yeah.
Were you working a job when you first joined Blink?
Yeah, I was still doing like oddball stuff when I'd go home. I'd still help Bill. Like if Bill had anything for me, I would do anything. I did a Vandals tour. Like, I think right after I recorded drums for Enema of the State, which was kind of like the way things happened then, is we would get in a room, write the songs, go in. Jerry Finn recorded it. Jerry Finn would spend about 2 days getting drum sounds, and then I'd go in, I'd record the entire album in about 7 hours. And then I remember I recorded Enema in 7 hours maybe. And then I was like, okay, you guys, because they would spend the next 2 months doing guitars and vocals.
Damn.
Songs were already written. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a Vandals. It was called Turd Town Tour, where we go play like third markets, like C markets, in like bowling alleys and like Mexican restaurants. It was awesome in a Winnebago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you had no idea what this record was going to happen. You just played on the record and just kept it moving.
Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, I knew there was like things like there was tempos for me, because everything at the time with Blink was like really up tempo, just punk rock stuff. And then when we did that album, it was like, oh, let's mess around with like different tempos or different rhythms. And Mark and Tom were like, what do you mean? And I'm like all the small things could be this tempo, and then like we could still have these tempos, you know, but like let's switch it up. And like,
damn,
the ballad that Mark had, like he had like idea for Adam's song, played these weird drum patterns, and they would just be like, it was really cool being in Blink and writing with them, because they would just be like, we're gonna do this and we want you to do you. Like,
yeah,
I was obsessed with Tribe Called Quest, like
nice.
The Far Side, like Beastie Boys.
Yeah. All your influences.
I punk rock I always listened to and grew up with, but I would be listening to like Goldie, I'd be listening to drum and bass, I'd be listening to like whatever. So they were really open with like, we need you to sprinkle.
Spice, just be yourself on here. Yeah.
So I was always like given free reign to express myself in that band.
I mean, fuck, man, that record just massive. You guys toured on that for a while too, probably, right?
Yeah.
Because there was a couple. There's like 3 or 4 big singles on there. Yeah, man, that was just like incredible, man.
Yeah.
So your life kind of changes at that point. This is like solidifies. Like, this is what I'm doing. This is my full time everything kind of. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, I remember coming home and I was like, I told my dad, I was like, I made, like, when I was just filling in, I'm like, I think I made like $6,000 or $7,000, and he was like, you better save that because you're probably not gonna make that again.
Wow.
And I was like, oh,
wow,
thanks, pops. Like, whatever. But that's like that tough love, but
totally.
it also like would check me and keep me in line.
Yeah,
you know?
I love that.
So yeah, I was like, my aspirations and goals weren't that big. My only goals were like, how can I find a way? I was really doing it when I lived in Laguna, like, but I was still a trash man. But my only goals is like play music and make enough money to eat, have somewhere to sleep,
totally,
and like live. That's all my goals were. So it was never.
And then that record sounds like 15 mil.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude. Fuck, man. So then your life just completely changes as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
Obviously, to get your place, just everything. Like, it's crazy, man.
Yep.
And then and obviously give you props for the Adam song, because we always talk about Tom wore the H2O shirt, and that like was amazing and changed a lot for H2O at that time, because when bands wore other people's t-shirts, they would go check out that band, and
for sure,
really cool, man.
Yeah.
Now I had met you guys somehow, probably in the Warped Tour or something before that, obviously before the Boxcar Racer tour.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's crossing paths and stuff like that. But I think you first went to New York. Was it with the Aquabats? You guys, was that on that tour? Did you play New York first time with that band?
Yeah.
Or CBs or something, or?
Yeah, we played New York because I remember that was a big deal. Like, just, I don't know. I my first time in New York, that was a big deal.
Of course.
Like, I associated New York with like Wu-Tang Clan and like Biggie, you know? Like, I don't know. Mobb Deep, like, that's what I don't know. That's what I would associate. And then the New York
Hardcore and all that stuff. Yeah. So I think you guys played CB's or something or somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Damn. So then after Enemy of the State, obviously that changes everything, and then Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, another crazy one. But was there expectations after the Enemy of the State? Did you guys feel pressured to write hit songs, or did you just making records? It was no big deal for you guys.
Enema was so big, and like there was some kind of confusion too, because we made fun of like 98 Degrees, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
But in Europe, the label out there, I don't even know if they really got it, that we were like kind of busting these boy bands' balls, you know, like kind of like lightly making fun of them. Like, this is like, just, we thought it was so funny.
Eminem was doing the same.
Yeah. But they released our promo photos of our band, and they were all the Small Things video. So in Europe, like, people thought we were a boy band. So
that's
like,
crazy.
Yeah, we played like big punk festivals out there, and I remember we played this festival, and people were throwing cue balls at us.
Wow.
It was there was a full riot, and I remember we got back from there. That was like our last tour on that album, and we made Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, and I think we just had to we felt like we had to show everyone like we weren't that, like we almost had to make up for their mistakes. And like we're serious, we're whatever, we're wearing all black, whatever. Whereas like Enema, and it's like, you know, it's our first big record, and we would kind of do whatever they told us. Hey, you need to do. We would do 3 or 4 days of 12 hours of press a day, locked in a hotel room. Man. It was wild, but we were just like, so grateful. We just did what we were told.
Yeah.
Like, take off your shirts. Like, everyone try to put flowers in your dreadlocks, whatever. It would be like, yeah, okay, like whatever you tell. You know,
Wow.
we didn't know that we had control of our band,
Mm-hmm.
and we might not have had control of our band. We might have tried to regain control, and they could have told us to fuck off. Whatever could have happened. You know, who knows? But
Was that MCA Records?
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just part of the kind of the machine, sort of, and then take off your pants. We started gaining more control and started understanding it, and we were like, yeah, I think we wanted to make a more serious record, even though there was like fun stuff. I know we made that album, and we were turning it in, and then everyone's like, wait, where's like, what's my age again? Where's all the small things? Where's all like the
That was the last record.
obvious singles? And we were like, okay, so we did First Date.
Yep.
We did Rock Show.
Yep.
And we did, I forgot what
Stay
other
Together
stuff.
for the
Stay
Kids.
Together,
Yeah.
like in a few days, because
Wow.
they're like, there's songs that are missing, so we just like spit them out.
Dang.
It was wild, and those were like our singles off that album.
Fuck.
So very thankful someone was like, you're missing something, you know?
Yeah. But that record, that seemed like that was a big record too. That was an awesome record.
Yeah.
I remember I came down to the when me and Rob came down to the video shoot for I think Rock Show or something. I remember that.
Yeah.
And the next album is my favorite, the self-titled one. That's like my favorite. I don't know what the transition was for Blink, but just the logo, just the sound of it. Robert Smith on one of the songs, which is fucking amazing. Like, I think that record just really, I guess it was like the adult kind of Blink, I guess. I don't know.
It was,
Way more influences than just punk. It came out.
you know what it was? It was like our influences. Like we had enough.
Yeah.
So like everything from the logo, like.
Yes.
That was like the art department, like me and Max and John at Famous that came up with it.
Okay.
Instead of the last two albums, it's like the label comes and goes, oh, here's your album art.
Yeah.
And we were like, no, here's our album art,
That's awesome.
you know?
Yeah.
And then
Just the
so much
songs.
happened too between Takeoff and the Untitled. Like I did a Transplants album.
Yeah.
Um,
Incredible band.
There was a Boxcar album.
Yes. You're right.
There was a lot of
Plus 44 in there too? Around that
No,
time? Okay,
after.
Okay, later.
So there was like a lot of growth and like just me being in other studios too, kind of learning more. I don't know, just you listen to new music.
Yeah, doing other projects.
Yeah, and and it was like and the big difference in that album is Take Off Your Pants, Animo was all those songs were hashed out in a room where you know the songs before you go in and record them, whereas the self-titled Untitled album, we wrote those songs in a studio, which we'd never done before.
Wow.
So like Feeling This was like, I got this crazy drum idea, which became the intro. I have this cowbell thing, this could be the chorus. And then just writing different, or even like taking like, I'm feeling this and just make it in a loop. Like we'd never done things like that before. So it's like trying new things, and just like I was more involved every album.
It's cool.
And we were learning as a band every album and just growing.
Yeah. I think I Miss You is like my favorite fucking Blink song still, man. Just everything, yeah.
Thank
the whole
you.
record is just, it's its own thing compared to the other records. I feel like you probably got almost a whole new audience from that record alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like for bands, there's like those songs on the albums that are almost bigger than the band. Like
Totally.
I Miss You was bigger than our band.
Really?
I think so. I think All the Small Things was bigger than our band. Like people were just like,
yeah.
you know how like
Yeah.
everyone just knows a song and they're like, oh, it's that band.
Yeah.
I almost feel like that was happening to us a little bit, but I think that's a great thing when it happens, because it just shows like a song can have a really wide audience.
Yeah.
Like there's not a box, like a ceiling on it, you know?
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
awesome, man. And then there was like a long gap between that one and Neighborhoods.
Was there?
It seemed like, yeah. But that was great too, with Up All Night and After Midnight. I think Neighborhoods had like, I'm not sure if Esteban did a video for that or something. There was somebody involved in that, or like,
Yeah, Esteban and Cartoon did all the art and stuff for Untitled, Self-Titled.
Yeah.
And they like Esteban came to Iraq with us.
Wow.
During that, it was really cool. And then Neighborhoods, Mike Giant did the artwork.
That's right.
And then that was you know what? That was the first album after Jerry Finn had passed. And I think it was really difficult for everybody. And it was just, I think, after that, I think it's just 4 album cycles worth of like touring a lot, working your ass off. And you know what I mean? You
that
can
machine
kind of be
where you
like,
make a new record and then go back on tour, like cycle, right?
Yeah, I think everyone
get caught in that cycle. Yeah.
Everyone after Neighborhoods, I think, was just burnt out.
But then you also have the Transplant, so that's a good way you can, be artistic and creative with those records. They're all great records. That was such a great project, man. That was super fun, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I love Transplants. That was fun too because it wasn't excessive touring.
Yeah.
And
it was just cool things here and there.
Yeah, it was just we'd play shows, we'd do tours. Like we did the Foo Fighters tour. Our first tour was like us, AFI, and Distillers.
Sick.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, and then the Boxcar Racer tour, we did that in there too. That was excellent. That was an excellent tour, man.
That was a great tour. H2O used and Boxcar.
Such a fun tour.
Another example of just putting out an album, doing a tour, and then it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't, this doesn't ever feel like work or like burnout. You know?
You've always stayed busy though, even in between things. You always worked on different projects and just always stayed creative. You think that's because you just can't chill? Yeah,
I can't. I still can't. I remember my friends used to be like, "Why do you work like you're broke?" And I'm like, "Well, I was broke. I did grow up broke. Like I watched my dad struggle and my parents struggle. Like, that's how I grew up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I never had anything. So once I had something, I'm like, oh, I always gotta fight and like work hard to keep it. And touring excessively where you're playing like however many shows, 300, 250 shows a year. Yeah, that feels like work at some point. If you don't get to do something creative in between, I think it's important to tapping in and doing the creative. But I still am like that, like if I'm home and I have nothing to do, like that just it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Yeah,
I
create
something, that's what I love. And maybe it's not a great thing that I like to be productive. It makes me feel good,
Be creative, yeah. How many hours do you sleep at night? Are you a good sleeper?
I'm not great. I got like 4 last night.
Damn.
It's terrible. That's one thing I'm actually doing a bunch of tests now.
Yeah, we're talking about that. Yeah, if we don't talk about it.
Trying to figure it all out because like
doing blood tests and all those different things.
Yeah, I always stayed away from like doctors unless there was something wrong.
Yeah.
And whatever vitamins I take, I just take because I think I should take them.
Yeah.
No one's ever told. There's no method to the madness.
To a nutritionist or nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm finally trying to figure it out because I'm at the point where I love running like you. Like I love running like 3 to 5 miles a day. I love working out. I love boxing. I love Taekwondo. I love Muay Thai. But I love touring. But I don't love like I need to figure out the recovery part of it, like for as much as I like to be active.
Yeah. It's important as we get older, yeah.
Yeah. One of my friends who's a UFC fighter had said, you got to do this. Like, it's the most detailed testing ever.
So that's what you're doing?
So I just started it.
All your panels, all that stuff?
Yeah, I actually got some reports back right before I got here, and they weren't good.
Okay.
So I'm like, damn, I thought I'm so healthy. Thought I'm doing everything right. And... yeah.
So this stuff's going to help figure out your sleep and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, because I don't love it. I usually get home from the studio really late, and even if it's like 2 or 3 in the morning, I'm like, I gotta get 8 hours. I'm up at 8.
Yeah.
And I just want to get after it. I don't know what's programmed in me, but if I didn't have to sleep, I wouldn't.
It's hard for your brain to shut
love
off.
it. Yeah, I love if my body could just keep going, I would. But I know that's not good.
How's the cold plunge working out for you?
I love it.
Yeah.
I really love the sauna cold plunge.
It's so good, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ryan Dewey from Plunge who took care of Trav with a plunge. Yeah, it's fucking...
it's amazing. It changed my life. And just wait. Now I don't even like... I like waking up and just jumping in there. I don't really time myself.
Yeah.
I just gauge it as like make myself uncomfortable to start my day.
Yeah.
It feels good.
I don't time myself either anymore. It's crazy. I got crazy when I first had it. I'm not doing that no more.
Yeah.
But the energy you get from it during the day, it's so good, man.
I can feel like dopamine level, and I could just feel like this wave of positivity and like being refreshed like immediately after I go in.
What kind of shoes you run in?
Just whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't figured that out yet either. I think like
I love Hoka's, man. I'm on the Hoka shit right
really?
now. Yeah.
I haven't tried them. I think I have a pair of Adidas that I run in, but I've had them for years. They're probably like flat or something, but yeah, I just love running.
I know, I love it. So you inspired me yesterday. I wasn't going to rest it yesterday, and you running on the beach. I was like, fuck, I'm going to go get it right now. It's just sometimes you have to get motivated, man.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard, man. All right, so we got Neighborhoods in California, and those are the ones with Skiba and 9, and those ones are pretty good albums too. I like, obviously Skiba's my dude, but like hearing him on there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I remember him hitting me that day when you guys met up to even talk about it at the Crossroads. That was a crazy day. But those guns charted on Billboard as well. It was cool. You guys were playing one of those songs in your sets recently.
Yeah, we played Bored to Death and Cynical.
What's cool about seeing you guys recently too is you could tell that you've obviously stopped. You've always continued working with different projects, but also Tom with Angels and Airways. Just his voice, just like I don't know, is the best it's ever sounded, and like how tight you guys were. It was like a brand new. It was crazy, dude.
Thank you.
It was really, you could tell that people who hadn't stopped working on music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard someone say it's the best version of Blink-182 right now.
Wow.
And it kind of feels like that. It just feels the way it should, and it feels
it's not
like
forced.
We took enough time off to come back and really love it again and appreciate it again.
And the first show back, Coachella, that was crazy.
That was, I mean, leading up to that was so crazy because we started rehearsals and we were originally supposed to go to South America. And
I remember that.
The second day of rehearsals, I'm like going to Orange County. It's so funny. I was supposed to go to Cheeto Vera's like gym and box with him and Jason Perillo, and I can't find the gym.
Okay.
So I'm just like, okay, I'm lost in Costa Mesa. I'm going straight to rehearsals. I'm going to get it in. I'm going to go there afterwards. Third or fourth song in, bam, I like hit my finger, smash it on the rim of my snare drum, which I've done a million times. Covered in blood, usually, whatever. And there's no blood, but I acknowledge, okay, that hurt, whatever. I look down, middle of the song, I don't stop playing. I straighten my finger out. There's a golf ball size on my knuckle. It's swollen. I can't move it. It's stuck. It's never happened to me ever in my stuck. I can't move it if I tried. And everyone's like, just bend it. Like, I can't. So I go to a doctor. He thinks he sets it back into place. Week later, 2 weeks later, I try playing again. It comes out again. And then I start like kind of asking around, like, yo, what's going on? Like, is this I'm supposed to play Coachella in like a week. Figure out that I broke, like, detached like my volar plate from my ligaments, tendons, and broke the bone.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah, so they're like, you did a number on your finger. You got to get surgery right away. Go into surgery. And then it's like the week of Coachella.
Fuck.
And I'm already not sleeping, but I'm losing sleep thinking about it. Like, damn, like, this was supposed to be the debut of Blink.
Yeah.
It's like a big look. No one knows we're playing. By the way, the world doesn't know we're playing. It's like a surprise.
Yes.
So it kind of doesn't matter if we play or not. But to me, I'm like, and Bill, going back to my child, Bill Fold, like, man. We met a year ago at my house in Palm Springs, and we were like, dude, Blink's got to play. It's going to be awesome. So I just called Mark and Tom, and I'm like, I'm taping my finger, and we're playing. And they're like, what? And I said, yes. Like, dude, we can't do that. Then it's not going to be good for the U.S. tour. I said, it's going to be fine. Let's just, like, get in the room and see how it works. My doctor told me I could buddy tape it, even though I'm, like, 2 weeks out of surgery, a week out of surgery. And we did it. Rehearsal was awesome. And I think it was harder for everyone else because I think they were relieved of,
Yeah.
we don't have to debut at Coachella in front of however many hundreds of thousands of people. And then I'm good. I just keep saying I'm good.
Yeah.
Like how I can figure that I could get through sets like this. Let's go.
Yeah.
Buddy tape it. And then we play Coachella.
Fuck.
And then it's amazing. And it's like
so amazing.
incredible. And then I remember we're at Coachella and I'm there on Sunday. I go to see Scowl, go to see a couple other bands. And I see Bill and he's like, dude, you guys might be playing next week too. What do you mean? He's like, I just stand by,
Wow.
And then we get the call next week. And then
That was probably just even better too. Yeah.
yeah, it was amazing. Because the idea was like play Sahara Tent and make it go off. Like, we could obviously be on a different stage, but make Sahara Tent go off. And then the next week is on the main stage. And then for me, it was, wow, my finger just held up 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Now, let's see how it holds up on the U.S. tour. And then held up on the U.S. tour. I still have to buddy tape it, but hopefully it's going to be back to normal soon. But
How's it feel now?
the other day in practice, I didn't tape it, and I got through like 5 songs, and I thought I broke it again.
Wow.
So to answer your question, I still need to tape it. Like,
yeah.
Like that saying, like, listen to your body.
You got to do that.
My body was telling me, yeah. I thought I broke it the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can probably figure out with all the blood tests too, like how you're healing and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I'm praying they don't come to me and are like, it's because you don't eat meat or whatever. I'm like, please don't tell me any of that because I'm not going to change any of that. I'll do
You've probably
anything.
been through that too, being in the crash and hospitalized and through all these different tests. Like, so yeah, that's a great segue to veganism. Like, what inspired you to be vegan? How long have you been vegan for now?
So I was vegetarian since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like at 12 or 13, I would always hide like meat in my pockets because I was brought up in a household where my mom made food. My dad, you were forced to eat whatever she made.
You got to eat it.
And you can't
Worked hard for
leave.
that food.
Yeah, you can't leave the dinner table until you whatever. So I figured that out. I just put the meat in my pocket.
Wow.
My mom even had a deal with me where she would just throw it away when she saw it. She was cool. And kept it from my dad. And then, yeah, vegetarian my whole life. I just didn't love the texture of meat.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really understand why. And then I figured out what meat was. I figured out what a hot dog was, what liver was, what any of this stuff, meatloaf. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense. I don't like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to eat animals. I don't like the way it tastes. So vegetarian for a long time. And then after my plane crash in the hospital, classic Western medicine.
Yes. You
have to eat meat like while you're in the hospital. You are not going to, recover. So I wasn't eating. Shout out to Skinhead Rob. Skinhead Rob would come to the hospital. I would give him my food. Like, dude, throw it away.
Wow.
And I just wasn't eating.
Dang.
They ended up sticking a hose down my throat to like feed me like that, which was miserable. It was already miserable being there, but that made it even more miserable.
Damn, man.
And then one of my nurses was like, let's just find something you like. I make really good beef jerky. Can I just make you some beef jerky? And I'm like, yeah, okay. So he brings me bags of beef jerky. So I lived off of bags of beef jerky.
Wow.
And the peanut butter dream at Robux, or what's the other one?
I know what you're talking about.
Is it Robux or what's the other one?
Fuck, man. I'm looking at it right now. Fucking the old smoothie spot, right?
Yeah.
Jamba Juice?
Jamba Juice. So Cheese and Armin, like two of my greatest friends, they would bring me, they're 2,000 calories or something.
Uh-huh.
I would have 2 a day. Gotcha. And then I would have a bag of beef jerky. So I did everything they told me to in the hospital. There was no explaining to them or getting through to them that I could somehow
you're
find
surviving too, like you just
protein some other way. They were just like, you have to eat meat. So I did. Got out. All of my friends begged me, please let me take you to a steakhouse. Let me do whatever.
Wow.
I went like for 2 days. I tried everything they wanted me to. It was disgusting. I didn't like any of the food. Decided to go the opposite direction, take it even a step further, and I just became vegan.
Wow.
And never looked back.
It's crazy because I think now hospitals and doctors are more aware of like foods and how it connects to your body and blood pressure and all the different kinds of things. But like just the food in the cafeterias and the vending machines at the hospital, it's like candy. It's just all bad. It's crazy.
What's strange is everyone that I've known who's had cancer, the first thing they tell them to do is stop eating meat or dairy. But yeah, it's so weird. It's almost like if it's not cancer, the protocol isn't to be vegan. It's just only if you have cancer, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, well, shouldn't we listen to that protocol all the time? Not only when we have cancer and we're dying or, you know,
I think
our life's threatened.
I think people are more aware of it now and conscious of it, the connections to all of it and what it does to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some doctors have been, or told one of my friends recently to cut back on red meat, which I was so shocked that that's happening. They're saying that now, which is great. Yeah. Because I think the time, the hours they spend learning about health or diet, doctors is not that much time, you know?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I want to talk about Famous Stars and Straps too. Obviously it started in 1999.
Yeah.
And now I'm slowly seeing shit pop up here and there. Like I told you, I saw Billy rocking that jersey the other day. It's
so cool.
Famous since 9. So it's slowly, it's coming back. Not that it really disappeared, it just kind of like went and then, because I remember during Meet the Barkers, that was like, it was like, I remember seeing Lil Wayne wearing the belt buckle on the cover of Source magazine. I was like, that's a wrap. Rick Ross has the F tattoo on his chest. Like just that timing and all that was just amazing, dude.
It was insane.
It was so crazy.
Yeah, I went from like, Millhouse was actually part of it around the time. We would just tag and we would we had this thing called the Voltron crew. Sick. And we would tag up everywhere and put stickers up everywhere. And it was like kind of like a small little graffiti crew.
Okay.
And then I'm like, so the same idea, but you make it so you don't get in as much trouble. You know, when you get arrested or you get caught. And then I was like, oh, Famous Stars and Straps. Like,
that's how it started.
Make belts, straps, call them straps, stars and straps, famous. Everyone wants to be famous.
And some guy, Eddie Rock, the mullet or something, drew it or something?
Yep. Yeah, I was I was really inspired by Rough Riders. And and that's where the famous badge came from. Even though it doesn't look like the Rough Riders are, you could kind of see.
I see it right now. I never thought
how it's in the same family, you know.
Wow.
And at the time, there was like brands. I think it was Billabong was like really, really in cahoots with like Blink. And they wanted to pay us to wear their clothes.
Hurley.
Yeah, Hurley. And I was like, I'm not quite a surfer. I still love skating. I love old cars.
Yes.
I love rap music. I love punk rock music. I love hardcore music. I'm just going to create my own thing that it's lifestyle. It's all of these things.
Yeah.
You know? And then that's where that started. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any education or experience in what I was doing.
Yeah.
I just had a passion and
a vision.
A vision, yes.
Yes.
And that's
shit went crazy, bro.
Those two things are still what I feel like is required when you want to do something, you know? But yeah, it just went, it was the pace at which it grew was like something I've never seen.
Punk rockers, BMX riders, musicians, tattoo artists, like it crossed every genre.
Yeah.
Like everything you love, it crossed all that.
Yeah. It was pretty insane. Like,
and I feel like when you're on that TV show, it even went bigger.
Yeah. It was between like everyone that saw me and the exposure from Blink to the exposure from like Meet the Barkers to Wayne wearing it to Puffy wearing it to Rick Ross to everybody wearing it. It was like, it was insane. I remember one day I woke up and Kanye West emailed me. He's like, damn, you created this. So cool. And he sent me a badge. And I was just like,
wow.
How did Kanye get my email? And I'm like, you know, this is like early Kanye that's producing still, you know? Like College Graduate just came out.
It's like all the love from hip hop and everything.
Yeah,
man.
it was so cool, and it felt so good because it's so pure and it's so organically like you know. It's like when your band gets big off playing the music you love. It's just like, whoa, you know.
So it got really, really big. And then was going for like how many years? Over 10, 15.
Yeah, over 10, 15 years. Like,
You
it
had the
got
Fast
to a
Life
point.
store. You had the original store in Corona or whatever.
Yep.
I think Blink played a show there.
So, like, yeah, I didn't know that you had to get a business license or a wholesale license or anything. I just got the keys to this spot on Magnolia Boulevard in Riverside.
Riverside,
Opened, like, started selling, like, Zero skateboards, famous.
98.
Yeah, all that stuff right there. And Blink played our grand opening, completely shut down Magnolia Boulevard in Riverside. Police came. People were, like, standing and jumping on people's cars. It was amazing. Like, the coolest grand opening ever. I got shut down by the city. Figured out I just should have a warehouse and sell to stores instead of having my own store.
Yeah.
Because it required a lot, and it was a lot of responsibility. And, built it to be a really big company. Like, Puff tried to buy it off me.
Wow.
Tommy Hilfiger tried to buy it off me. And I just couldn't
Like, it was your baby.
lose
You
control.
created it. It's yours.
I couldn't let go of it. I don't know. I know the business motto. I know a lot of people would say, oh, that was really foolish of you. That's what the goal is. You build the company and you sell it. But it was literally my DNA. That was mine.
Yes.
No one else could have done it.
Yeah.
So I couldn't sell it. I just couldn't. No amount of money made sense to me. So I just
You kind of
held on to it. And then the last few years, it's been a few years where I've just let it go into hibernation because I feel like all good things, you gotta let them go away so people miss them again.
But I see there's such a resurgence of the 90s and the 2000s. People wearing Janko jeans, people wearing bigger stuff, people wearing famous, people wearing all this throwback stuff. That, like, now is the perfect fucking time.
Yeah.
And so, like, seeing Billy rocking it, and then I sent you a picture of Billy Biohazard wearing it.
Yeah.
It's like, so where is this coming from?
It's so crazy.
Are
Like,
you
that's
slowly getting it out to people?
Yeah, that's actually a sample of our jersey, which is super cool. That I guess her stylist gave her, and I love Billy.
Yeah.
And, like, I love her even more because, like, she's at the Gorilla Biscuits H2O show. That's a beautiful thing.
So cool.
So, yeah, like, little things are happening like that, and then I talk to people, and they're telling me they're buying it off resale sites.
Yeah, I see people
and
wearing
just
it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, we're gonna relaunch, not really be stuck or, like, confined to any seasons.
Yeah.
But just release collections like
Okay.
when we want to start
Smart,
off with.
dude.
Yeah.
I see it, dude. This motherfucker should slowly come in. It's his best way to do it, though.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And I appreciate you supporting One Life One Chance back in the day with Famous. That was awesome,
Of course, I have it tattooed on my head.
man. I know.
Yeah.
I love you, man. That's awesome. And we got to give that drum set away to that school needed a music program. That was beautiful.
Yep.
And just, like, making a rate, just all that cool stuff me and Millhouse did with that. And we did the Roxy show. That was super awesome. Also, DTA Records, Bear, MGK, Mod Sun. You work with Feldy, Avril Lavigne's new record. I feel like you've been such a big part of all of those people. And, like, you're such a good team with Feldy when you're producing and doing stuff and finding new artists and stuff and staying creative in your studio.
Yeah.
It's really cool, man.
Yeah, it's been fun. Like, I was only home for a few weeks this time, but me and Feldy got in for 3 days, and we made a whole album with that band, One Step Closer.
Okay.
Just like a straight edge, like, hardcore band.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
Where they from?
Their album's incredible.
They from out here?
They are from Virginia.
Okay.
Some of them are from Virginia. I think some are from, like, near Philly.
Okay.
Or Hershey. Yeah. So, yeah, I love that. I started working with Kells again on some of his album when I was home. I just finished the Blink album, like, produced the Blink album. Yeah. So, that's really all I did the majority of this year was that. Like, that was my project that I just... For me, it's like filling Jerry's shoes, who...
It's a big deal.
Yeah, I think I constantly would be like, what would Jerry do? Or
Yeah.
just kind of like, I think back to my time with Jerry, and I did a lot of, like, listening and observing. And I think the challenge is like, be in the band and be very present, but also take myself out of the band and just be a fan, which I started in the beginning with Blink.
Yes.
And never lose that, especially when producing. And and just really, really making a well-rounded album. And I feel like I did it, you know?
Yeah, man.
So far, I mean, only Zane's heard it, and we just did our Zane Lowe interview. And
He's heard the whole record. You played me some songs too. They're awesome. The ones you played in the studio.
Yeah, he described it as Enema the State, like all grown up, but as good as Enema. And I'm like,
that's amazing.
There's no better or bigger compliment.
Yeah.
You know?
So is there a name for the album you can't say, or when's the album coming out?
When does this podcast come out?
Whenever you want, man.
Okay. The name of the album is called One More Time.
Okay, sick. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many songs on it?
17.
Sick.
Yeah.
And Edging's obviously the single that's been out for a while.
Yeah, Edging.
Super fun song.
Edging's on there. There's some cool stuff. There's like I think I sent you one of the songs. There was like
I heard some in the studio too.
I did an EP of hardcore like songs I did with me and Tim Armstrong.
No, you sing it, bro.
Yeah.
For all the listeners, this dude sends me these songs, and I'm listening to the songs, and I thought he's playing drums over it. You're actually singing on these songs, which it's crazy.
Yeah. So one of them's on the album. Like Tom.
You singing?
Tom loved it so much. He's like,
dude.
So Tom and I trade back and forth on it, and then like on the single I sing on it. On a few songs I sing on it.
But this is you singing on these songs you sent me. Like I'm like, holy shit. This is
Yeah.
your first singing debut on a whole song?
Yeah, pretty much. Cause like on Obvious I would sing or whatever, very small. Like I would just do like little stuff, and then like wrote lyrics on songs like I Miss You, like
okay.
All those like Nightmare Before Christmas references on I Miss You Is Me, whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah. This album is
Live
just
Like Jack and Sally?
Mm-hmm.
That's you?
Yeah.
Come on, I didn't know. That's cool. Awesome. Damn.
But yeah, I'm really proud of this album.
Will there be another Transpens record someday?
I don't know. We were almost gonna do
that anniversary show somewhere. I remember that too.
Yeah, there was the anniversary show,
Yeah.
and then there's one that's like a benefit for Hawaii that we were gonna do, but it's the week that Rockies do.
Rocky 13 Barker.
Rocky 13 Barker.
Such a hard name, man.
I was like, he's gonna come out of my wife's vagina, like doing front kicks and push-ups, and
dude, it's such a great. That's such a great name.
Thank you.
When's the baby due?
Halloween.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
You couldn't plan it any better. That's
I know.
Wow.
It's either Halloween or like the first week of November.
Would there be like another Give the Drummer Some album, part 2?
It's hard to say. Like I would love to. I think I just have to tap back in and be home. Yeah, that's how usually things work, is like when I'm home from tour, you'll kind of see me do a lot, and it's because I just have time home.
There was so many. That record was crazy. I remember we coming on the road. I spoke at like 2 schools. Me and Tim came out. You had the tour with Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne were on that tour. But there's like so many guests on that record. I mean, Rick Ross, The Game, Raekwon, fucking Slash, Steve Aoki, Buster. I mean, the list is crazy for that record. The support on that record was nuts. Snoop, Luke Fiasco, Bun B, Swizz Beatz, Tech Nine, Paul Wall.
Yeah, it was so
Expensive
fun.
Taste. That was another one. That fuck, bro. You, Rob, and Paul. That was crazy.
Yeah. Making that album was so fun, and I think like you can relate. Like growing up, listening to rap music.
Yes.
And I was kind of raised by both. You know.
Yes, you were.
Like punk rock, rap music. Like
Same.
Just being able to do something with it feels so good. Like from the moment like I'm in Blink and Puff tells me, "Hey, come be in this video. Play drums on this song," or any of those are just like
The Game.
Yeah.
Rihanna. Soulja Boy.
T.I. Like I played.
Dude, it's crazy. When I started seeing you do all that shit, I was like, yo, this is awesome, because I know your love for hip hop. I know you beyond just a guy in the Blink-182, and that's not all the music you even listen to, period. You listen to everything. So when I saw you branching off and doing all this other shit, I was stoked for you. You know what I mean? That's like to play with like people you grew up listening to, and that's how, not that you needed to stay relevant, but you staying so in the mix of all different genres of music. I feel like where you're at now in your life, it's because of all that and doing different things and not just staying in one genre. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's not who you are in the first place. Like playing with all these different artists, it's just insane.
Yeah, that's been the most fulfilling thing in my life, you know?
Yeah, you can play on anything.
Maybe
not country, but
yeah, I did. You know, it was the one time I think my dad was the most proud, and it was in the height of me playing with rappers. Really, it was Country Music Awards doing a tribute for Buck Owens.
And wow.
And I played, and my dad, I think the only show my dad has cared about. And I always say, like, I think I've said it in a different interview, is like, getting ready for that show, I forget everyone. It was like Brad Paisley, one of the guys from ZZ Top, like some other, like Dwight Yoakam, some OGs, and we were rehearsing. I remember them saying, like, someone kept missing a cue, and one of the older cats said to him, he's like, "Hey man, you know the part?" And he's like, "Yeah, why?" And he's like, "Because we have enemies in the crowd, and we're not gonna fuck up. Like, we can't fuck up. We have enemies in the crowd. We got to play this right, you know?"
Wow.
It was so gangster. I was like, these guys don't fuck around. Like, I've never even heard, like, when I've played with, like, yeah, we have enemies in the crowd. We can't be fucking up. Like, we got to play good, you know? It was pretty awesome. I was like, okay.
What about, like, another book? I know you had the Can I Say book. Would you ever do another book? And thanks for the love in your book. I never get to thank you that.
Oh, of course.
Would you do another book?
I think I would. I feel like I had to get that out because I needed it helped a lot, and it was therapeutic. To talk about, like, my drug use, talk about, like, I don't know, just some of the things that I wasn't proud of as much as some of the things that I was really proud of. And
I was worried about you then. That's what I'm going on record saying. We hung out so tight in the Boxcar Racer tour. We got the True Romance tats. You had LaSalle Records. We would talk about maybe H2O might go there. You put out the Danny Diablo record. And then, like, after everything, you got caught up in the, was it liquid codeine, whatever shit you were drinking?
Yeah.
Because I lost touch with you. And I would see you here and there, and I was like, that was a scary time.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're here. And you're good,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
But I knew you were going through pain. I knew you were in pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like right before my plane crash, or I don't know, like those years. I mean, Blink wasn't together. I was starting to. It was getting better when I was playing with Adam, like DJ AM, and we. Yeah. I mean, we pulled off. We playing with him and what we were doing with the drummer and DJ from like headlining to like Coachella, like Sahara Tent, and like doing MTV Music Awards. Like AM and I was so happy and so fulfilled, you know, and not being in a band, but doing what I did with him because he was like a guitar player that knew every genre in the world. It was my dream gig. You know, we played everything.
But there was a big party atmosphere.
Yeah, it was. He was a really positive influence on me though. And when I lost him, that was hard because I remember like even when I was going through my divorce, he like challenged me. He's like, "Hey, you need to be sober to make a decision like this. I'm challenging you to be sober for 3 days."
3 days.
Yeah. If you can do 3 days, tell me how you're feeling and see if your decision's the same, you know? So like, yeah, Adam that must
have been hard because he was the only surviving friend you had to bond with over everything.
Yeah, he was the only one. Like I lost Chris, lost Che. And I remember after my plane crash, he was like, "Hey, can we just meet up and like, once I got out of the hospital, can we just talk about what we remember and what you remember?" And like, and he used to be like, you know, he had expressed to me he really wasn't doing good. And I think like I had 3 kids looking at me at home. So even though I wasn't doing okay, I needed to act like I was doing okay, you know? But yeah, like it was like, cause right before I was playing with Adam, I was going through a divorce. I remember like Europe still haunts me. I was in Europe and I was playing a Plus 44 tour. And I got there, and the day I got there, I was so addicted to like
pills,
like lean, drink anything but being sober. And it was dark, man. It was like winter in Europe, you know?
Brutal. That's already depressing.
Yeah, it's like I was already depressed, but I remember calling the guys and like, no, I could drum, I could do anything. That was the scary thing. But like, I think it was the first time I felt suicidal, where I was like, I had to call Mark and I had to call my drum tech and be like, "I just got here. I think it's in my best interest to go home. I'm sorry."
Wow.
Yeah. So like, I didn't do that tour, and then I wasn't, you know, it was really tough. But we were just talking about it the other day in rehearsal with Mark, yeah, I think just like those dark times, and then being with Adam. Such a positive influence. Like talk about PMA and being sober. Like I would go to I wasn't sober. I'd go to all his AA meetings, listen to him talk. He was like, his documentary's great if anyone hasn't seen it.
I did see that. I also saw he was doing like a TV show for MTV about sobriety too when that happened.
Which led him, you know, to be tempted to do drugs again.
Wow.
You know, it was really hard for him. But yeah, it was like Adam really he almost like prepared me for everything I was about to go through with the plane crash. He really was just a positive influence, and I, you know, was sober for a number of years after my accident, like 10 years.
Did you have nightmares and stuff from all that?
Yeah.
Flashbacks,
I would have
things?
the worst flashbacks. I mean,
I can't imagine, dude.
Yeah, I would, like the week I got out of the hospital, I was in the burn center. That was in Van Nuys. It's not there anymore, but even when I drive by that building, I look at that building much different than anyone else looks at that building. I'm sure. I know everything in that building. And but when I first got out, I remember my friend Armin used to come walk with me, and if I saw a plane in the sky, I would run under a tree or a bush.
Duck.
I was like,
wow.
It was insane. Like, even my doctors, they were like, I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to bounce back. And
that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Is it true that you could taste fuel in your throat or something a couple months after or something?
For months. I would burp up jet fuel.
Oh my God, dude. That's so crazy.
Have you watched Snowfall?
Yes.
So like in Snowfall where she's in the hospital and she's like kind of detoxing and she's like swinging on, you know, like people hitting him.
Yeah.
That was me. Like I had the best burn doctor, Dr. Peter Grossman, who's like had the burn center here for years, but I would swing on Dr. Grossman mid surgery because they couldn't get my meds right. I was given everything they give to everyone else to fall asleep, but I would wake up because I had self-medicated so much that my pain wasn't right. I was always in pain, wake up mid-surgery. I would swing on people who are just trying to help me out and trying to like perform surgeries on me and save my life. It was ugly. But yeah, just such a good learning experience from all that. When people say like, hey, how did you stop doing drugs? Well, I detoxed in a burn center for 6 months, you know?
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah.
I caught on fire and then dude. And
yeah.
so are your feet burnt? Like what part of your...
Yeah, so 70% of my body's burnt, like my feet.
Lower half, yeah.
Yeah. Like they said, probably won't be able to run. You might play the drums different. None of it's true. Like I run all the time.
Yeah.
I'm so fortunate. Like I can't even tell I'm burnt.
Yeah.
I did tattoo over some of my burns, like my back.
And how does that feel?
It's good. It's good. I mean, you know what tattoos feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if they could get worse, you know?
Over that's kind of gnarly. Over like a burn.
Yeah, the skin is definitely like thinner.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so blessed that, you know, I can do everything.
Do you have any major regrets in your life?
No.
I like that. It's
Not
strong
really.
no.
I feel like everything I've learned from everything was a lesson.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, you've been through a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And then what about like? I mean, it's kind of a dumb question, but I already know like if you're an optimist or pessimist, you're super positive. You've always been like that. Always believed in yourself through the dark times and everything. Never gave up. Never quit.
Even my biggest challenges now, I am the optimist now. Even when it comes to flying now, I'm like, oh, everything's gonna be good. Like,
Were you always like that? Pretty positive?
I was white-knuckled from flying from the time I was a kid. I think my mom was terrified of flying. I witnessed her flying one time when we went to go visit Chicago, where our family was from, where my mom was from. And that immediately taught me to be afraid of flying, I think, as a kid, because I had no other reason to be afraid of flying.
Yeah.
But I had weird things when I was 19 and I was living in Laguna and I was a trash man. I got drunk. It was one of my first times really drinking, like where I was drunk. And I remember telling my manager, he didn't tell me this till after the accident. He came to me after the accident and was like, do you remember you were 19? We left Hennessy's in Laguna. You were drunk at my apartment and you told me you were going to die in a plane crash.
Bro.
I was like, whoa. And I didn't remember until he had reminded me. And I'm like, whoa. But
wow.
Part of me believes I manifested that, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you've been worried about your whole life.
my whole life.
That's crazy.
True story, before we got on that flight, we took like a G4 out to South Carolina for the show. Me and DJ AM had a show. Our way home, last minute, we finished playing, had a great show. AM, Lil Chris, Che, everyone's like, yeah, I want to get home.
Yeah.
I want to get home. Let's take a flight home tonight. I'm like, well, we have a commercial flight tomorrow. Let's just chill.
Yeah.
We end up getting a private plane. Pull up, airport, looking at all the planes. I'm like, dude, that can't be our plane. And it's like small. It's foggy. I'm like, yep, that's your plane. And I get out and I call my dad. And I'm like, Dad, I have a horrible, horrible feeling about this flight. And he's like, why? And I'm like, Dad, I don't know. I think like, I just have a bad feeling. And he's like, he's always so like tough, like get a hold of yourself, whatever. And I'm like,
man up.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. And I'm like upset. I'm like crying. He's like, Trav, like what's going on? I'm like, I don't know, pal. I'm like, but if anything happens, make sure the kids are cool, like whatever. I know I'm divorced from their mom. Make sure like the kids have the house, whatever, any of my belongings. Take a picture of it, send it to him. Lil Chris, he's a ride or die. He's like with me, like, yeah, fuck this plane, Trav. You know,
wow.
He's like also sent a picture of himself, whatever, to like Skinhead Rob, I think, his wife, and I called it.
Fuck.
So weird. And then like, my dad probably thought I was crazy, but 20 minutes later, he's getting a phone call like, hey, your son has just been in an accident.
Wow, dude.
We're airlifting them to this hospital in Georgia. It was like, so like.
That is unreal, man.
Back to like, yeah, I'm like, damn, did I just talk about it too much? And was I so afraid of it that I don't know if that's possible. You can just
manifesting things.
Yeah, make things happen. Like I know you can manifest great things.
Yes, that's
but
a PMA,
can you manifest all these negative things too? And you probably can. You know, I read into it a lot now, and it's like what you say or what you think you become. So I'm very cautious about the negative things now. You know.
Yeah, you said something cool to me last week too, like about social media and just like your reputation is everything to you, like. You defend that to the end. You've worked your whole life for being just being a good person and an honest person, a real person, and you don't take that shit lightly. Even if it is like one comment, like you did check that dude a couple weeks ago, which is amazing. He backpedaled everything, but do you pay attention to shit like that, like negative stuff online? Because I'm sure now it's like just the comments and shit. Like with the life you're having now, everything's on. It's just it's public almost everything in your life.
Yeah. You know, I usually don't. I just saw that come up. I had such a good time at Sound and Fury.
Yeah.
I had such a good time. And I don't even know, but I was looking, because there was something about Blink, and I was looking at like Twitter, which sadly, I hate that it's become like a negative place for a lot of people, but
it's so negative.
I was like looking, and someone's like, yeah, real cool how you cleared out the entire green room when you came to Sound and Fury and kicked everyone out. And I'm like, green room?
There's no green room.
I wasn't at a green room.
No.
I got there and I walked like
right on stage
and like stood there by everybody, you know, with all you and everybody.
Yeah.
So like things like that where it's like, I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he was thinking like, maybe he wasn't even there and he's like, oh, I bet someone of like Travis's
entourage
stature or something would go and do something like this. I'm like, never, bro. I showed up to that show by myself.
Solo dolo.
Yeah, I don't even like. I don't show up anywhere with security. I showed up, watched Speed and Trapped Under Ice Play.
Great.
Had a great time, and
People
I went.
Were stoked. It was awesome.
The truth is, I went home all by myself and like. Yeah.
All by your big self.
And then you got on the internet and you tried to paint a different picture for anyone because you just couldn't believe I was there by myself and not doing something like that. I don't know. It's so weird.
And then the fest was like, there was no green room. This didn't happen. That was awesome.
Yeah, because I did. Never would I go try to alter any any kind of environment or anything to benefit me, there's not a chance. Like, I'm like, no, I'm there like everyone else. Just like I said, like, I want to be here like anyone else. I don't want no special treatment. And like, yeah, I see stuff sometimes, but
does some shit bother you?
I really try not to respond. Like, sometimes they'll be like, oh, like Trav's like married a Kardashian, so he's a Kardashian now. I'm like, I haven't changed one bit.
No.
Like, I fell in love with my best friend. I've known her for 10 years,
and
I never changed to know her.
Yeah.
She's never changed to know me. I think it troubles people when you haven't changed, and they gotta they gotta throw something out there to try to bait you, and then when you say something, they're like, oh, okay, just like that guy did.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, my bad, but I try not to like.
Are there big misconceptions out there of you that bother you, or that you think are funny? Sometimes you gotta laugh at shit. I'm sure.
I don't really stay in tune to him. I just
That's
see
cool.
him. I just see him every once in a while, and I'm like, I know these people. Like, I couldn't be more myself than I am. You know.
And then that's interesting because it's like there's so much positives to it too, but then there's also just like you checking DMs and stuff.
Sometimes
You probably get a lot of DMs a day.
Yeah, they're pretty positive. Like, I don't have a lot of negative. I think that's the most negative things is like the random
making things up like that.
Just couldn't believe I was at a hardcore show enjoying myself, having a good time like everyone else, or like people that are just like,
you know what I love too, how like Courtney wearing the agnostic front shirt of yours and people tripping on. It's like, dude, she's wearing a husband's shirt. Like, I love that Zach did a whole post defending it, and different people talked about it. It's just a shirt, man.
Me too. It's like,
it's crazy.
Zach was awesome for that, and like it's like, it's pretty common for someone's wife to wear their shirt or sweatshirt without having to like answer to anybody. You know?
What does she think? Because it's crazy. Because when you guys got together, your band wasn't playing, so now she's first time seeing you play in Blink, and also hearing the types of music you like. It must be like a totally kind of different world for her, though, as far as the music she likes.
Yeah, I think she would.
Especially like Chromags or something, or AF or something.
It's like a relationship that was so built on friendship.
Yeah,
that
it's important.
She didn't know, yeah. Like, she would know, like, oh, you go to these crazy shows, or like you do this or you do that, but it was so based on like pure intentions of just falling in love with each other. Totally.
And she's probably open-minded even to check it out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it wasn't, there's times when I'm in the car and I'm listening to like R&B music and I'm like, whoa, but I can find the good in it, or I can find like whatever. And then I don't know, or whatever she listens to. If we listen to Sade for 4 hours driving home from like Palm Springs, that makes me happy. We have a lot in common, and then we have things that are different. Like she has 4 sisters, or 1, 2, 3, 4 sisters.
Yeah.
Like, and like I don't know anyone that's so close to their siblings as them.
From an
I always say
perspective, it seems like they're super tight. I mean, I've been to your house for a couple things. For your bachelor thing, that was awesome meeting her. For the gender reveal of your child, Halloween, she's so cool. Everybody met through that family is so cool and down to earth. And like, obviously, there's perception of that family on television or whatever. But like, I know you're a real person, so it's like, and you're still the same person. So it's like there's people. It's like
they're just people. I do think that there is people that probably would want to hang out with them or be friends with them to exploit them.
Totally.
And that isn't me. I've known them for years.
But it's a tight circle, man. It's a tight.
Yeah. And I'm like, you see how when you're at anything like you come to with my family,
dude, nobody's filming nothing.
No.
Every time I've been there, even your bachelor party, nobody's on their phones. Everybody's just hanging. It's cool, man. It's like,
it's surprising how normal it is,
Yeah.
So like that's why I just when it is there is things that are crazy. I mean, yesterday I was in Santa Barbara and I just like I have a really small home out there that's on the beach that I just love being by the water.
Me too.
And we go there and there's like we don't Court and I just want to walk down the beach. Do we want somebody like someone followed us from Calabasas to Santa Barbara.
Wow.
Like driving fast, and I'm like, nah, we're not gonna drive fast. We're just ignore them.
So
whatever.
There's people outside your house. It's hard. I've been to your house, so you have to go to a couple gates to even get in there. So those people really can't get in there, but paparazzi waiting and shit like that. That's kind of a normal kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not something I love or she loves, and it's like Yeah.
She seems like the
would I
black
love
sheep
it
to me.
without it? Yeah, I would love it. Like it'd be awesome. Like our days where they're not around
Yeah.
are great days. And then when they are around, you know what? I'm gonna be positive. I'm not gonna let it bug me. I'm gonna carry on how I'm carrying on. It's like I was running on the beach and some guy's in my face, lightweight, chasing me with the camera. It's like,
what?
I'm just gonna ignore you.
Yesterday I was talking to
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Holy
So
shit.
it's like, yeah, but like,
You can't get mad. You can't do shit about it. I mean, like, you've
yeah.
had your shit in the past with paparazzi and shit like that, and like
I used to get, yeah. There's
You
like
forget-
there's a famous video of me, skinhead Rob, and Cheese like almost
Cheese,
getting
shout
into
to
a
Cheese.
fist fight with them, and it's like, yo, it's not worth it. I'm just gonna ignore them. I don't want that attention. I'll
Yeah.
make it very known. I just want to be.
But I remember back
Just
then
want-
you would fucking flip on. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want a normal. I want my kids to be healthy. I want to like my family to be happy, my friends to be happy, not hurt anyone, and I don't know, cruise.
Yeah.
That's like my goal, you know?
Are there TV shows you watch related, like are other reality shows?
I don't watch any. The only thing I watch right now
Oh,
is
you were
like
talking-
Snowfall.
Yeah, Snowfall.
I'm addicted to Ariel Hawani. Like
How's that?
I figured it out. Like I was talking to Andy Galpin. He's like the guy who's doing a bunch of my blood work, but he was trying to like dive into my sleep and why it's so horrible. We were kind of talking.
TV show you watching?
No, but he was like, "What helps you sleep?" And I said, "Watching Ariel Hawani, MMA Hour."
Oh.
And it's like I love UFC, I love boxing, I love MMA, and he basically laid it down. He said, "You watch that because it's a way for you to escape like everything you do. So that's why you dive in to MMA and you love the hard work and the training that goes into it.
Yeah.
But it's an escape for you." Because I'm like, you're going to die laughing when I tell you what puts me to sleep. And it's Ariel Hawani. I don't know if it's like his voice. It's like hearing the fighters on there. But I can just put it on, close my eyes, and not have to watch it and kind of listen and fall asleep. And
But you fall asleep to the TV usually?
yeah, it's like My Home Alone, you know, like when you're sick
Yeah.
or whatever, it's Ariel Hawani. So it's so funny. But yeah, I love MMA. I love like the embedded, like leading up to fights, or like All Access for
Uh-huh.
like boxing on HBO.
Oh, the training up until and the
Yeah,
fights and stuff.
that's
Yeah.
my favorite thing is seeing people like train and work hard and the fight and accomplishing something, or even if you didn't win, like
Yeah.
you fought the good fight, and you
Like
I
homeboy
don't
the
know,
other day, like Diaz. We texted about Diaz the other night, man. I'm like,
the best.
his swagger that night and just like the things he was doing, just like I love him. It was so fun to watch, man.
Like Nate Diaz won that fight even though he didn't
Agreed.
officially win that fight. He was so entertaining. He was so
Agreed,
fun.
dude.
He's not a boxer. He sat in there and went all 10 rounds and
Like, see, they might fight again for 10 mil or something, like a real, like a
yeah, I feel like
MMA fight or something like that.
Nate's just he's such a good human too.
Yeah,
That's a great guy. Like
it's great. I
super
never
great
cared
guy.
about that kind of stuff and started watching the past couple of years, and now I just like love watching those fights. I don't know, something about violence when I became a dad, it didn't really appeal to me, and then later on, like once my son got older, I started watching more things like that. But because the world's such a crazy place when you have a kid, you see it different, you know.
I was the same way. After I would go shooting all the time just to know how to use a gun, and I'm a gun owner.
I never shot. My wife is too. I never shot a gun before. I'm scared, but I'm gonna try it soon.
Really?
Yeah, I never tried it.
Yeah, we would go to like LA gun club, go shooting.
Yeah.
And then after becoming a father and like my accident, I've never been back.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've never been
Ever
back. I
again?
don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would try it. I've been getting talked to recently about I should go try and shoot it. I'm not having no interest, dude.
Yeah.
My wife's been shooting guns her whole life. She's licensed. All that stuff.
Yeah. I
She's
mean, it's
Chicago.
cool from a competitive nature to know how to like shoot good. You just hope you never have to use it.
Did
right?
you shoot machine guns before too?
I haven't.
Me either, dude. Just regular
That would be
guns.
crazy. Yeah.
But just your regular guns are yeah.
Yeah.
It's so interesting with that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something that you listen to or you're into that the listeners would be shocked that Travis Barker is into something like this? I think at this point, no, because you're pretty open about all your influences.
Yeah, I listen to a ton of Miles Davis, a ton of John Coltrane, just jazz. I'll even like
Wow.
wake up sometimes and just look up like Japanese jazz, whatever, anything sad jazz. Sad jazz is actually pretty fire on YouTube. If you look up sad jazz, it's pretty awesome. So yeah, I listen to everything, but I usually start off my mornings like that, or I'll listen to a lot of audiobooks. I love Tim Grover, like Relentless. Okay. That book changed my life. I think I've also discovered one of the reasons I don't sleep is because like after shows, I'm up going like, yeah, can you do it again? Can you do it again and again and again? Can you do it better? And are you a harsh critic of yourself? I'm just like, even like if I play the Grammys or I do something that to some people they would go celebrate, I'm not celebrating. I'm not looking for a pat on the back. Are you critiquing yourself all night? Nah, I'm just already running towards the next thing. Wow, you moved. Okay. Yeah, but I'm not. Wow. I kind of figured it out. I talked to him a few times too, and he said something interesting. He's like, some people, in order to get on stage, they have to put a mask on. To get on stage. Yes. You're taking your mask off when you go on stage. That's who you really are. And then you're putting it back on when you get off stage, because I suddenly am kind of like not myself when I'm not on stage. You're pretty chill in the cut kind of guy. Like, I don't want to say shy, but you're very like I don't have to have a drink. I don't have to get like hammered to get up on stage. I'm like do you get nervous going on stage still? I do. Like a good kind of like butterflies. Like I care nervous. Yeah. But I'll like run in the day. I'll practice multiple hours. I mean, you've seen me. You've been at shows. You asked me about doing the plunge before you played too, or after you had the other stuff backstage. That was awesome. I'll always. Game changer. Yeah, I still. Yeah, I care so much about. Yeah, because you warm up at least like an hour. Mm-hmm. And I'll play like throughout the day. I'll like learn something new, or like lead with my left hand, or like change it up. Yeah, try doing whatever. Just like constantly evolving, I think is like so important to me. I feel I can't get bored. I figured out when I was really young. I think my dad had said something to me about, I'm like, you can never be bored. You could always like, you could do push-ups, you could read, you could listen to an audiobook, you could practice, you could help somebody. There's a million things you could do. So I've just never believed in boredom. Yeah. I love that. But yeah. Always pushing yourself and staying creative and learning stuff. Yeah. I think my challenge is like figuring out, like on days off on tour, I like to practice. I don't like taking days off. It's like learning to now. Like I just started meditating. I was going to ask you, what relaxes you? I just started meditating. Like one of my mentors, Ron Perry, he's like the president of Columbia Records. Great guy. Like I got him into breath work. I feel like he's like how you and I are, like help each other, like give each other like things to like make each other better. Essential was greens, but they weren't working for you. Yeah, I tried. But yeah, he told me about meditating, and I go on and I do this like Zoom, and it's helped me. It's helped me, yeah. To calm down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't see you just chilling like for like 40 minutes on the couch. Nah, that sounds awful and amazing. And then what about your phone? Do you ever check how many hours you spend on that shit? Or you try to put the phone down ever? I try to, yeah. It's hard. Yeah, it is so hard. Because everything you're doing is on there. You're promoting everything. It's so hard. It feels so good when you do it. It does when you just show up to the beach. That's why like running is out of... Yeah. I don't know, it's hard, dude. Yeah, running, I do it, which is beautiful. And then flights. Sometimes I won't get the Wi-Fi. Internet. Yeah, and I'm just but it's really content. It's addictive, though. Yeah, right? It's tough. And then I'm kind of forced to, like right now I'll go on a European tour. Yeah. If my kids don't go, I'll have my phone on 24/7 just in case, anything. My wife will be home. What about Barker Wellness? How's that going? Barker Wellness. Thank you for sending me some of this stuff. Of course. I was like, is this straight edge? Because it's like has what it is, yeah. It is. So it's all CBD, CBN. We are coming out with flower products for people who love THC, but it's vegan, gluten-free, toxic-free, cruelty-free. I'm down for that. Which is different. It's kind of hard to find, but yeah, it started because I had trigeminal neuralgia. I had a few episodes of it. It's called the suicide disease. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but all of your nerves in your face fire off at the same time. A lot of people mistake it for 10 to 20 cavities in their mouth. Damn. It's the worst feeling ever. Okay. Yeah. So I was using like CBD to kind of tame it because I'm not a big fan of medication after becoming sober.
Okay. You just get worried about triggering or something?
I just don't like it. If I don't have to take it, I won't. And gabapentin's pretty strong. You know what I don't like is it makes you tired and kind of drags. It's not my favorite. So yeah, I started to figure out like a lot of product that I was using for recovery: magnesium salt bath, CBD for recovery, sleep, maintenance, lotion, clean lotions, clean cleanser for your face and face masks. Just put everything into making cruelty-free, clean products.
I love that.
Which they're hard to find.
And where do you make that? Is that made in America?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's going good.
Yeah, we're developing a tattoo cream right now. It's like your glide for when you're tattooing. Also, your tattoo cream like for A&D or whatever. For healing. We have a bunch of tattoo stuff coming out, and we have flour. Like we have pre-rolls and we have gummies and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, once in a while I'll have a gummy if it's like a long flight and I just need to like
just chills you out.
Chill, yeah. I don't smoke anymore.
What about like you see the people getting put to sleep getting tattooed now?
It's wild.
I don't know what to say because it's like I like the experience, I like the smell, I like the sound of the machine, I like the pain for some reason, but like full back pieces when you're unconscious. How Tiger got it with somebody else, and then you wake up and you have a whole back piece. It's crazy. It's so interesting, man. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, I love the combo.
Yeah,
I have with my tattoo artists or hanging. Like,
yeah,
I couldn't imagine.
It's the next level, bro.
Going and getting tattooed by Mark Mahoney and going to sleep and missing that gem of a conversation you would have, or with Cartoon or Chewy or anybody, Scott Campbell. Like, I want to be awake for all those, and I think it's part of earning it. Is like sitting through it, you know. I think like,
and it shows like maybe it's about the culture and how like people just like, I want to get it right now. I have to get the whole thing right now. Like the process of it. We've been through the whole process of it before the numbing creams and the plastic you put on your tats. We use A&D ointment and all like the bacitracins and the greasy oils on our bodies. But it's just different now. People want things fast and they don't have patience for it or time. So you get knocked out. They put you unconscious and you freaking wake up and you have a whole back piece. But that still hurts. It's gotta hurt.
Yeah, I have a friend who's a dentist that.
That's your dude with the tats.
I help him with certain things, or help like guide certain people with artists or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard not to be a hater just because of how I did it,
Yeah.
But I also understand. I'm like, just some people are like, I don't want to deal with all that. It's just like us too. It's like
people getting face tats first.
It's like, yo, we came up, we toured in a van, we slept on people's couches. They're like, I don't want to do that.
No.
They're like, why would I do that? But we're like, well, we did that.
We sound like old dudes.
I know. So it's like it's hard for me, and I gotta stop myself. But I'm like, for anyone that goes and gets put to sleep to get tattooed, also just get tattooed sometimes. Chop it up with your tattoo artist. Be awake for it. Be present.
An experience.
Yeah, be present. It's an experience. It's awesome.
Do you ever try to talk to like the kids getting their faces and the hands done first? That was like a big trend before they get sleeved. The warp tour bodysuit, they called it.
Yeah, like my son, he tricked me for so long. Like he came home and he was always running these fake tattoos.
Does he have fake on his face at all?
So so he kept telling me it was fake. Like the one day I was like, I said, well, what's on your face? And he's like, oh, it's fake, Dad. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I really believed him because he would walk around with huge neck piece. I mean, you've seen Landon since he was a kid. He'd be on stage with Rancid playing guitar, and he has neck tats and face tats, or Blink or whoever.
Dude, such great birthday parties growing up at your house. Little pump pulling up. These different versions of like he had the Sid Vicious vibe with the cake, and all the different versions of him.
It's crazy. So
cool.
He basically trolled me for a few months, and one day I'm like, why are you still wearing that face tattoo? Like, how is it still on it? It's like a small, like, kind of cross, like, star thing. And I finally got it out of him and, like, figured out he was lying to me, and he actually got his face tattooed.
Were you bugging, kind of?
I was. I mean, he's
not. You can't say much, though.
He's 19 now, yeah. Okay. All I could say is, like,
please get more in your arms.
yeah. Like, any time I can guide you, let me know. Or like if you want any of the boys to tattoo you, I'm
You have
down
access
to get
every
tattooed.
tattoo artist in the world.
Yeah, I think it's like I'm sure Max is the same way. As much as we could guide them, they're like, nah, it's my thing. This is something I did.
I want to get hand poked in high school, and I was like, dude, you can't. Everybody's doing the back of the classroom. I was like, please don't get a for your first tattoo, bro.
Yeah, I haven't lost Bama yet. Bama has
no tats.
No, she has a few tattoos, but she's always like, Dad, can we get Chewy to do it? Can we go visit Dr. Wu?
How old is she now?
Yeah, 17.
So that's so under 18. You have to say it's okay to get it.
Yeah. So yeah, she listens to me, and I love that. Landon is, he's a wild man, but
we can't say much about tattoos.
No, we can't.
And they're both doing music now too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's amazing too, man.
Yeah, they're both.
It's so crazy
musicians.
how fast they grow up because we've known each other for so long, and our kids were like, I got pictures of little kids together, like at the Roxy show, or whatever, and then now they're just like driving, getting
Max
tatted.
is the drummer of H2O.
I know, and
it's
then
crazy.
Landon's opened up for you on the Blink tour.
Yeah,
it's so crazy, bro.
Insane.
And also, thank you also for always being there for Max since he was a kid playing drums and just showing him things and giving him parts of drums and his cowboy, just all that stuff. You've been really supportive of Max.
Of course, man. I'll always will be.
It was really crazy, man. Like you pulling up the other day and playing with us, and then Max jumps back on and plays, and
yeah, it was
awesome. Like a brand new band with him. I just can't explain it, dude.
You guys really are. It sounds so good. There's like a new energy.
Yeah, like it's just a young energy. He's just passionate about it and just never stopped playing, man. Plays every day in the garage, and
I love that.
It's really cool, man. It's crazy. Our kids have grown up, and they're both at home still?
Yeah. Landon's at home. He's about half of the time at his girlfriend's.
Okay.
Alabama's always in the studio. Like Alabama just signed a deal with ATL Jacob. So yeah, she's like, I do the day shifts now at the studio, and she's in the night shift.
Wow, dude.
It's crazy.
So do you help her at all, or she does her own thing?
No, Alabama's really self-sufficient. They both are. Like, if Landon needs me for something, I'm there. Bama needs me for something, or if they want to like lock in at my studio instead of driving somewhere else, they're free to use it. But they're both pretty independent. And
it seems like your Courtney's family and your family, you guys are really tight, and it's just like it meshed really well, and it's awesome, and to see that massive family now.
It's huge. I have 7 kids. When Rocky's born, I'm gonna be a father of 7.
Ooh, is it safe to say is your last kid or no? You're still young. What are you, 45?
47.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's the last one. I think whatever God gives me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy though, man. It's like a whole new chapter for you, man.
It's insane. You know how they make you younger?
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine how young I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
Like when Rocky's 10, I'm still gonna be pretty young, or like I don't know. My kids have really kept me young, and
of course, same with me.
And
doing what we love keeps you young. We're very lucky to do what we love, dude. We're big kids, dude. We're basically big kids.
Yeah. When they say like never grow up, that's the best advice
we really listened to those lyrics.
Yeah.
Like we actually didn't grow up.
Yeah, we didn't have to. We were so blessed to like play music, and
I know we have responsibilities.
Cool
we have mortgages, we have children, we have all that stuff. But then in reality, you just go play with your friends, your best friends on stage, and travel the world with them and make music, and it's incredible, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have been doing it for over 30 years.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
We're gonna be 30 years at my band this year, but yeah, it's just like it's a blessing, man.
Yeah.
Well, fuck. Thank you for being there. I mean, I know we talked about this for like 4 years. The Liquid Death commercial we did, that was super fun. My acting debut, my first and last acting debut. Do you have any? You have like top 5 MCs? Are you more of a West Coast hip hop guy, or you're East Coast, right?
I would say Wayne.
Wow. Okay. You're like the second person ever to say Wayne on this pod in top 5.
Wow.
And you worked with him too, and you know him, and it's just like But he does get pushed down those lists a lot. I see that. He's
so lyrical and so good.
That's
and
amazing.
Just
So he's in your top 5.
Yeah.
What you got in there? East Coast cats.
Like Jay.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, great.
Okay, Jay, Weezy,
Biggie. But then it's hard. Like KRS-One is also.
Yes.
By the way, when I used to be on boats, I would always see KRS-One.
Really?
Yeah, we were on like a.
Why was he on a boat?
He doesn't fly.
Did not know that.
Yeah, we were on Queen Mary 2 together, and then he was telling me.
What?
He's like, hey, yo, have you been to Australia? And I'm like, well, back in the day when I used to fly, he's like, nah, bro, I'm getting on a cargo ship. With me and my family, we're going to be the only people on there. with the cargo to go to Australia. Let me know if you want to go. I'm like, hell no. Like,
holy crap. He doesn't, I know he didn't fly.
Yeah, he doesn't fly.
Any traumatic incident like you had?
Nothing. Just doesn't like to fly.
Shout out to KRS. When I saw him perform like a month ago at Coogee Rap in Orange County, and he's like 55 years old. It was incredible, man.
Yeah.
My Philosophy. Oh my God.
So
good. So KRS-One's in your top.
Well, I mean, he was just like, he's someone that I like grew up on. I was raised on, but like obviously Killer Mike, like Run the Jewels, like
new record's incredible. Killer Mike.
So good. Yeah.
I'm psyched to see them play out here soon. I saw Killer Mike recently play out here. It was awesome.
Like the Beastie Boys.
Of course.
Like, I don't know. It's hard for me to think of. Yeah, Wu-Tang. It's hard. Like Meth was obviously
incredible.
Ghostface. Like, there's so many great people.
Tribe, De La, Mobb Deep.
Yep.
Gangstar.
Farside.
What about West Coast? Ice Cube. All those Ice Cube solo records were incredible.
Yeah, Cypress, of course. Like, was raised on them. I even like Everlast. Like,
me too.
His solo albums were so good. Like, great. I loved those.
Shout out to Everlast. Dude. Those records are great. So many.
Yeah, I mean, The Game was so good. Man. Dre was so good.
Love The Game. And you did a remix with him, One Blood, I think, was it?
Yep.
So much shit.
E40.
E40?
Like, everything from the Bay. Like, Be Legit. All that stuff. I love the Bay. Like, I love that whole hyphy movement.
Are you listening to new hip-hop? Because I'm listening to the new Travis Scott record. I think I talked to you about it. Just the beats, everything about it, man. I love running to it. Like, I heard people are kind of weird about it. They're saying it's like Kanye's kind of whatever that record was called. It was called Jesus. Yeezus.
Like, it feels.
They're saying it's kind of the beats like that.
Yeah, I mean, you could hear Ye all over it. But I love it. I think the production is so, like, just fresh and like modern.
I like when bands I like when artists do different things and they change it up. Not the same record.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of good, like NBA YoungBoy, great. I just did something with them.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Is there artists you haven't worked with yet you'd love to work with? You worked with a lot of people.
I mean, like, man. Dirk. I mean, I know they beef. I love them both. Dirk just like said my name in like a song the other day. I love Dirk. Like, and I love all.
You get a lot of name drops. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty
Dirk
cool.
Did?
Yeah, I love Dirk. I think like, I don't know. I love so much rap music. It's like G Herbo, 21, great.
I just saw Drake in 21 last week. It was incredible.
Was
man.
It?
My son loves 21. It was a great show,
21's so good.
He's sick. His style is kind of just so mellow on stage.
Yeah.
Like after Drake's up, they come and do songs together. But yeah, the crowd goes crazy for him.
He almost underperforms, which you're like, okay. Like, you know.
But the whole crowd singing his shit.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that because, he's just very just slow and just like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's great. My son turned me on to him.
Suicide Boys.
Yachty. Which one?
Suicide Boys.
Okay.
You should listen to them if you haven't.
I need to check that out.
I did like an EP with them, and they have. I mean, Suicide Boys have this whole movement. Like,
I heard that.
Talk about a cult following, and they're always way ahead of everyone. Like, they have the Grey Day tour. Like, they took out Turnstile. They've taken out like Trash Talk, Zilla Kami, like City Morgue, Love Zilla. They're just always ahead, and they're like cool. Like, also Ruby grew up on punk rock music.
Okay.
One of the guys.
But the artist you with the other day did a song where you look like one of the Ramones. Dude, that was incredible. You were in the wig the other day.
Who, Tom?
No, the thing you just posted that you were wearing a wig.
Oh yeah.
That was great.
Oh yeah.
You look like Marky Ramone.
So it might be out by then. So I had this idea. We have a song called "Dance with Me." It's one of the first singles on the Blink album.
So that's what that was for, Blink.
Yeah. Oh, shit, so I was sitting there and I was like,
dude, it's so good.
I was like, what? I was on like a creative call on tour on a Zoom, and everyone's like coming up with ideas for the video and nothing is like hitting. And then I hung up with Ron Perry, and then as I'm hanging up the phone, I'm like, we should be the fucking Ramones. Like, we should pay tribute to one of the most important punk bands in the world. So good. And be the Ramones, but like in a first date kind of feeling video with the Malloy brothers. And I pitched it to everyone, and they loved it. Dude. So, yeah, we were the Ramones.
Just your facial expression, everything about them, like, that is like...
It was so fun. Fuck. I didn't take my wig off all day. I was staying in character. I was so happy and content. I could just be like this all the time.
Would you ever want to do acting?
I don't know. I feel
like you acted in videos. Whatever.
I've done a couple things when they've asked me to, but I don't know. I wouldn't want to do it unless I was very, very passionate about it.
Yeah.
I hate when people sort of like play music because they can or act because they can. I'd want to be at a point in my life where like all I care about is acting. I want to be the best actor I can be. Drums. Yeah, like I'd really want to. I'd want to serve a purpose and kill it.
Did you ever want to quit drums?
Yeah, I mean, for skating when I was little.
Yeah, but anything after that, no.
Nothing.
You can't quit it. Yeah, it's part of you, man.
Yeah, I'll play till I'm dead.
I believe that.
Yeah, even if it's like in a smoky jazz club and for nobody, you know. That I do it for me.
Yeah.
You know.
What's the biggest inspiration for Blink being back at this moment? Like, what made it happen? You think?
Well,
the time apart, obviously.
It's kind of like when I sat around writing songs for this album. One of the things I thought about was, why does it have to take one of us almost dying for us to get back together?
Yes.
And that's what the single One More Time's about.
Okay.
And that ironically was the thing, you know, when Mark got sick this time around, was the thing that got us back together. That we just all happened to be in the same room visiting Mark, and then I was always in touch with Tom. I was always in touch with Mark, but Mark and Tom weren't talking, and then it was like, anytime something like this happens, everyone's like, dude, we got to play music. What are we doing here? But I'm like, why does it take one of us almost dying?
Because you and Plus 44 and Boxcar Racer, and that was interesting to me. I'm like, okay, I know these two would definitely talk. He's talking to both of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so like, I wrote about that twice on this album.
Okay. Yeah, that's the timing, right?
Yeah.
Fuck. Well, it's beautiful to see, man. I'm excited to get to see two of those shows, and Turnstile out there playing to new audiences. That was awesome to see too. And
they killed it.
Just I feel like you guys are bigger than you ever been. I'm sure you played bigger venues than you have before in the past, and we talked about that. But I don't know. It just seems, I don't know. It's like a rebirth. Yeah,
it's a beautiful time for like the band. It's everyone's having like a great time, and I don't know. It just feels it's the best it's ever been.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Well, thank you for being here, man. I mean, I appreciate your time. We talked about this for 4 freaking years. We did it. We're chilling.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, Toby.
Of course. We covered everything here. I gave you your flowers. I appreciate everything you've done in music and with my family, with my nonprofit, with everything, and always being supportive. And yeah, man, I really love having you in my life and appreciate you as a friend. I'm happy for everything that's going on with your life. And I don't know. You're a warrior. You're a survivor. It's awesome to see you thriving and fucking, it's awesome, dude.
Thank you, Toby.
And you're coming out, you're hanging out, going to shows.
I'm stoked for your platform and you having these conversations with people. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think cool. I talked the longest you've ever talked in your whole career, and I'm honored to have that happen.
Yeah, no, for real.
This is your last podcast ever.
Yep.
But the record's coming out, so hopefully this year.
October 20th.
October 20th.
Yep.
And the next single's coming out when? September
19th.
Okay. Awesome. And I just saw you got that new GB tat. That's awesome. So you're still getting tatted.
Yep.
It gets a little painful as we get older, but
I just need to find time to heal, or I'd get tattooed every day. I just don't like not sweating.
Because we talked about you said cold plunging and sauna. That's the only thing I can't do it either. It sucks.
It's so
or
annoying.
If I get lasered, I can't do it for like 7 days.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts. Does Courtney do the plunge too?
Yeah, we only got in. Maybe we only had the cold plunge for a few weeks before she got pregnant. So then, yeah.
My wife doesn't like it so much.
No, Court's like, it feels like, she always says like, wherever, like, she said like her ass felt like it was going to fall off. Like it hurts so bad in her toes, you know?
Some people come
For me, it's my hands. Like I have to immediately take my hands out maybe like a minute in, or it feels like they're going to fall off.
Some people come in, they put their feet out and the hands out. They can't do that. It's interesting how it affects people differently.
Yeah.
How long people can stay in there you would never expect.
Yeah.
Like Freddie Madball killed that shit. I was like, I know you would kill it.
Did he?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Like 4 or 5 minutes, and like other friends who just jump. I'm like, that guy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's shocking. It's like you keep yours at 39.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see people doing 50. I'm like, nah, dude.
Yeah, I think I could easily.
It's easy.
Get like 4 or 5 minutes in 50.
You do cold showers too.
Mm-hmm.
And so ideally, would you wake up? You have a matcha. You do the cold plunge. You exercise. You play drums.
Yeah.
That's like a day in life for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like work out. Yeah. I usually wake up, have as much water as I can drink, have a matcha, work out, have a smoothie, and then I'm off to the races until
and you just go to you can't stop.
Yeah. Until I'm falling asleep.
We just gotta get 8 hours of sleep for you. That's our goal. That's my takeaway for this. Hopefully the blood test will come back and
that's my goal right now.
We know that you're human after this podcast.
Yeah.
Because to me, you're like a machine, bro. It's like you're like nonstop, dude.
Yeah.
But you are human.
Yep.
with feelings and need sleep.
Mm-hmm. It's coming.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, Trav, for being here. Thanks for listeners.
Of course. Thank you.
We're back in the pod real quick. Travis hit me from London. How was your flight?
It was good. It's kind of hard for me to get on the international flights, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I just like zone out, and I,
it's hard to sleep.
like,
I don't sleep on flights. I know you don't sleep on flights either.
yeah, I think like I thought it was 11 hours. It was only 9.5 hours.
That's not bad.
But yeah, I think like I really psych myself out before big flights like that are overseas, especially if I'm not flying with my family or my wife. So
yeah,
I just was like strong and was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and it's just like knocking down those things you're afraid of.
Are you watching? Are you watching movies on there and shit? Or are you just zoning out?
You know what I did is I downloaded Some Kind of Monster, that Metallica documentary.
Sick.
I haven't watched it in so long, and for some reason, like my wife and I started watching it the other day when we were doing like cardio, and I got hooked again. So I downloaded that and the Rick Rubin book, and
nice.
And also that new Adam Sandler movie.
Oh, what's that one? I have to look that one up.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like his daughter's in it. She acts in it. So I watched those, and apparently like it was a really bumpy ride because like there was like a hurricane or some kind of storm, but
oh shit.
But it was cool. It was like it was a piece of cake.
I'm glad you made it there, man. And this is like your first time flying to Europe as being in Blink in many years, like for a tour.
Yeah, I haven't flown for work. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's like last time I flew for work, and it was like during my accident or whatever, and so like this is the first time to fly for work.
Fuck. And you're still awake. You're still awake too. You went to the gym twice. Like it's hard, like to get off that schedule because you're like 9 hours ahead.
Yeah, I'm staying at this cool place outside of London. It's like an hour and a half, and it's like a big farmhouse, and you can ride bikes everywhere.
Oh, I saw you doing that earlier. I was like, where the fuck is he? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a really good way to start off the tour.
That's awesome. The one thing we talked on the pod, we mentioned briefly on the episode was like your breath work, and I think it was with Lucas Mack. And I know you. I've seen you post videos of that. I know some friends know that same person, and that's definitely helped you as far as flying too, right?
Yeah, I find anytime I probably could have tapped in and did it right before I left for this, but yeah, I feel like kind of gets all the anxiety out of you, gets anything that's really like troubling me or I'm like ruminating on like in my head. I found like it really helps, and it's also I've like tapped into people I've lost. I've like connected with my mom who passed away when I was like 13 through breath work. I connected with DJ AM, Little Chris, like
through the breath work.
Yeah.
Dang. So that's it. Yeah, I've never tried. I really want to try it, but I thought that definitely probably helped you with flying as well. Yeah.
Toby, it'll be the first time you will feel high in your whole entire life. Like
more than the cold plunge.
You literally feel high. Like
okay.
Yeah, like it's insane. It's like the coolest feeling when it's over with, and you have like this weight lifted off your shoulders, and
you cry too. I want to cry too. I just want to get it out, whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't know if I shared with you, but when I did it, I was kind of skeptical of doing it because I didn't really want to be vulnerable, and I didn't really know Lucas yet, and I had this sort of closed off approach to it. And then once we started it, I had no choice. Like my body just reacted.
Damn.
I didn't even know I was crying at the time. I woke up and my face was wet and there was tears. It was pretty special.
Yeah, everything I heard and read about, not just with that guy in general, the experience in general is very like elevating. I can't describe it too. What I read about. I definitely want to try it though. I think that'd be really, really good for me. And you've definitely done therapy throughout your life too for everything as well, right? Besides that kind of breathing shit.
I did post-traumatic in the hospital, in the burn center.
Yeah.
And I was also just doing therapy. like with Adam Goldstein, like DJ AM.
Oh, okay.
When I first sobered up, and
Yeah.
I still do therapy
Yeah, me
to
too. I
this
just
day.
started doing it first time in my 50s. Like, I've never had it. Like, nobody in my family has ever done it. None of my brother's never done it. Just kind of some closure from my dad passing at a young age, and just kind of like pulling back the layers and shit like that. It's really interesting. It's kind of
Yeah,
it's scary. It's scary too, but yeah.
scary, but I couldn't imagine life without it.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I swear by it. I love that. One thing we didn't mention on the pod too is like, well, I know we didn't talk about any of your drummer inspirations, but I know the animal from the Muppets is one of your favorite inspirations growing up as a drummer.
Yeah,
From the early age, right?
Animal was the reason I picked up drums, because
Wow.
the connection of watching cartoons and seeing Animal play drums equaled me grabbing pots and pans and wooden spoons and playing drums. That's what started. That's what set it all off. And
That's
then
amazing, dude.
yeah, then obviously like grew up listening to, my mom loved the Beatles. Grew up listening to like Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
She loved the Police.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, my dad
Great
listened to
band.
everything from like Buddy Rich and Louis Bellson to country, and I listened to all that. I kind of had all my parents' influences. Like Phil Collins was huge to me when I
He's
was
sick too. He's a
a
great
kid.
drummer too, man.
Yeah, he's a legend.
It's crazy. Nobody talks about him as a drummer. And he's singing, and his bands are all phenomenal too. But like just drumming in general, it's
I mean, I think
awesome.
he's responsible for the most popular drum fill ever.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
You know?
the Hangover and Tyson made that shit even bigger. I believe for sure.
Yeah.
This is a Chappelle Lacey nerd question. Who came up with the name? What does plus 44 mean?
Plus 44 was right after, it kind of went like this, like Boxcar Transplants happened at the same time.
Yep.
We got together, we did the self-titled album.
Yep.
Right after self-titled album, I believe, I don't know if I remember everything that happened right in my dysfunctional band, but I feel like right about then is when everyone like kind of like went their separate ways, and Mark and I did plus 44 and Tom did Angels, and plus 44 was really, I think London and that country code had a lot of
Oh yeah.
effect on me at the time. Yeah, I
Because
think
you
I
had a
was
crib
like,
because you lived out there for a minute. That's right.
yeah, he lived out there. I had just went through like a breakup, and I
Yep.
was like seeing someone out here. I don't know, plus 44. I just like it was just a vibe right then.
Wow. And also,
Yeah.
we didn't talk either real quick. Just our love for True Romance. Like we both love that movie. We bonded about that movie on the Boxcar Racer tour. We got those tats at Jinx Proof, and just your daughter's name is Alabama, and just how perfect that movie is. And I don't know. I know how much you love that too.
Yeah, it's the most perfect written love story ever.
Agreed.
And yeah, I named my daughter Alabama after Alabama, and one of my aliases is Clarence Worley.
That's hard. So
Like
is that
when
the name?
I pull up, when I get a coffee, even if they know who I am, they're like, "What's the name?" I'm like, Clarence.
That's fucking. So at the hotel right now, you're booked in Clarence, probably. That's fucking
Yeah,
amazing.
of course. And I think Clarence too, Beastie Boys. You know,
Oh
I
yeah,
think, yeah, Mike D always referenced
you're
Clarence.
right.
Uh,
Interesting.
yeah.
And what about your Cadillac collection? You had a massive Cadillac collection too at one point. Do you still have a lot of Cadillacs?
It's actually, I don't own one. I have one. I have an Escalade right now, but
Oh shit!
I got rid of all of my old cars, and
Wow,
I was going through a process of selling a building and buying a new building, which
that makes
became the
sense.
building that my studio was at,
Yeah, it's
and
a
I
great
didn't have a
studio.
garage yet.
Okay.
So now I'm building a garage, so to have a garage door. And right now I have a Buick GNX, I have a K10 Chevy truck, I have a 72 K5 truck, and
Wow.
I'm on the hunt. I really just want two more cars. I want a 1966 Cadillac convertible Eldorado, and I
Damn.
want 1959 ragtop Impala.
Sick.
That's all I want. I kind of felt as if the cars that I had spent so much time with, because I had a fleet of 16 cars that I had.
I remember, man, the famous spot. Yeah.
Yeah, for almost 20 years. So I had my memories with them, and I had the best memories with them. And at that time, it was about like letting things go, moving on.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So now it's like kind of starting over, but not having quality over quantity.
Exactly.
It's that kind. It's good, like just getting rid of stuff, and just that kind of resetting. I wanted to give you props too, as like a dad, as a parent. You're like one of the hardest working friends that I have. Also you're an incredible dad. Even with like Atiana and just your whole family. And like, I remember you used to drive from Calabasas to take your kid to school, past my house, maybe in Culver City, always driving the kids and always being a hands-on dad and balancing your career with being a dad. And I just want to give you your flowers for that too as well. It's really inspiring, man. And I know that we talked on the pod about your dad kind of be military, kind of strict, kind of had his rules. Do you feel like as a parent that you're the opposite of that, because you want to give them something different? Because I feel like for me, not growing up with a dad, I really have nothing to base it on, and I feel like Max is one of my best friends. And also you have to separate the friendship with your kids as being a parent and having rules and having boundaries. But me and you are kind of big kids still, so just that balance in that. Like as a parent, do you feel like you're a little less lenient?
Yeah, it was an interesting dynamic. My mom was like the most loving, most nurturing. I knew my dad loved me, but he was there to also guide me and put me in place.
Yeah.
And teach me the hard lessons. Like I think he wanted to teach me instead of life teaching me.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful for that. And I remember at a young age, like after I lost my mom at 13, I never even had to think about it. The minute I found out I was going to be a dad, I was running 6 miles a day. I was like joined my first boxing class. Like it
training for that
my
shit.
Life. Yeah. I was like training because I was like, oh my gosh, I have this other human being that I'm responsible for, and I need to be strong for them, and I need to protect them, and I need to everything. And then being a parent that's my greatest role I play in this world or in life. Like I love children.
Being a role model and shit.
Like, yeah, like my kids are my everything. Like I take so much pride in being a father, and I have the best kids. And even I mean actually my kids too, like they have like a big connection to a lot of other things that I do with kids. Like I met Alex, who was a drummer I met in Phoenix through my daughter Alabama, and his wish was to meet me, so I hung out with him in Phoenix.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, and I ended up like spending the day with him, and ended up like staying in communication with him. And about a month ago, he passed away.
I know. I saw your post about that. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, it was
so hard for me. I've had a few of those.
Yeah.
And I'm always hoping for a different outcome. But like those things that come, like Alabama's like, you got to meet this kid, Alex. He's dying to meet you, Dad. And I just met him online. And I don't know. Those connections mean so much to me. And and just, dude, kids in general, like the youth, like giving back, like anything I can do to my own kids, to my friends' kids, to kids in general. Like I feel so good, and I feel like that's what I should be doing. Like I don't
love
really
that.
care about anything else,
No, I love that, man. Even the way you treat my son, man, I really appreciate it. I'm lucky because I got to play with 3 of my favorite drummers. I got to play with you, Mackie, and Max, my top 3 favorite drummers.
That's amazing. I'm honored.
And
I love that.
And also, you were saying earlier like, in the pod too about manifesting the plane thing. It's like that's what PMA is. What the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. And you might have manifested that, but you also manifested, surviving, and you're here for a reason and to inspire, and you are a positive role model for me and many, many people. So you definitely got that PMA, man. And you know that too anyway.
Oh, thank you. No, I remind myself all the time.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
like I still have yet to get that tattooed on me.
We're gonna do it, man. I want to tattoo it on you, bro. Let's go.
Also
for the listeners, we had a band that was recorded music with Travis once, but no vocals. One song, "Friends of Animals." It was me, Travis,
oh, that's right,
Tony Canal, and Moby. I don't know when we freaking did this, how many years ago. We jammed out one day and recorded songs. It's never seen the light of day. Maybe it should, though. That'd be kind of sick.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Do you have it?
No, man. I could probably move. I gotta find who has that shit.
I probably have it on like a hard drive somewhere. I need to look for it when I get home.
It was such a dope name too, and just like everything about it. But who knows?
Yeah.
Well, I know you got to go to bed. I know you're in London. The final question is, what kind of cologne you wear? Because our kitchen smelled like you for a couple of days, and Mac's like, it smells like Travis in here. And every time I see you or hug, you always smell good. So, is there a secret to your smell, or is there a certain cologne that you can't promote? Or
okay, it's right here. Hold on. I know. I have
that was a Max question. He's like, yo, it smells like Travis in my kitchen.
That's so funny.
Fuck what it is.
It is Baccarat.
The fuck is that? You don't even know what it is or called?
Francis Kurkdjian. Yeah.
That's what you wear. Okay.
Yeah, I love it. I'll send you a picture of it.
I never heard of that shit in my life.
It's so funny too. It's like, to top it off, it's what I wear. It's what Alabama wears. It's what Landon wears as well.
All right, sick. Also, I realize we got GB matching tats and True Romance matching tats. So we got to do the fucking PMA ones or something when you get back. And also shout out to Green Table who gave us the matcha latte fucking smoothies for this podcast. He was so psyched to meet you and coming to the spot. And
that was the best matcha smoothie I've ever had.
Oh shit, it's going on record. So I got to tell him. He's like, "Did you give me a shout out on your show?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll give you a shout out."
That was incredible.
Well, thank you, T. Love you. Appreciate you. Have a great fucking tour out there. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you in my life and everything you do in music into the world. Max, you have any questions for Trav? Because he's on this pod, man. I already asked him about his cologne. I got the cologne, Max. You just want to say hi to him?
What's up, Trav?
What up, Max?
You have any questions for him? I already asked him everything in the whole world, but
I hope everything's going well.
He just got to Europe.
Thank you, brother.
Tomorrow.
Hell yeah. Off the pod.
All right, peace. I got the show on the pod, buddy. All right, T. Get some rest.
All right, love you, brother.
Love you too, man. I'll speak to you soon.
All right.
Peace. Bye.
What up, Toby?
Yo, I was just laughing to myself. I'm like, the exclusive podcast with Travis that we never drop because we keep having conversations. but I love it. I love this, man. But how are you? What time is it there?
It's like 1:20, 1:18.
And where are you in the world?
I'm in Amsterdam.
Nice. I love Amsterdam.
Yeah, me too.
And so you just got a massage. I was just thinking about that too, like getting massages on tour. Like, it's such a treat. You know what I mean? Like, just trying to like stay healthy, stay loose. You know what I mean? All that. It's so important.
Oh, it's such a blessing. Yeah, like this hotel we're at, I was so grateful because first trying to find a great masseuse at 11 o'clock at night, you know, is like a challenge. But I've kind of got it figured out. And then this spot has a pool. So immediately afterwards, I went down there, swam some laps. They had a sauna, you know, just try to like tire myself out so I could sleep.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that, like the high from playing these shows, it takes a lot for you to I guess warm down or like cool down, whatever it takes for you to go to sleep. Yeah, it must be. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like so hyped after shows. Like, the other day I think I went to bed at 6:30, which was like brutal. I had to be up for like an 11 a.m. flight.
Damn.
But it could be either just like the energy from the show and I'm still riled up, or we played 4 new songs tonight and like thinking about them, or I don't know, whatever, you know, like whatever thoughts are ruminating, keeping me up.
Wow. Yeah, just to shut your brain up and just try to sleep. Are you guys flying every day, or do you have like a bus too?
Yeah, like the last tour I had a bus, but I only ended up being on there a couple times. So this time it's flying almost every day. I have no bus, just on a plane. So
how many flights is this run going to be?
Dude, I've already flown, I think 7 or 8 times.
Wow.
This run. Yeah, we flew into Amsterdam and it was so windy, and my plane was doing like a wheelie and it was like off to the side. I was like, please.
What?
I just want a safe landing. But yeah, man, I've been blessed with, safe travels.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the last time we spoke, you had just gotten to Europe. you barely were sleeping. Then the next day you flew back, for the fam stuff. And I'm glad everything's okay with Courtney and the family. That was super stressful and scary, I'm sure. And I talked to you the next day, like, yeah, I'm actually flying home. And I'm like, what the fuck? Didn't even play a show. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, that was an insane couple days. Yeah, I've done. Yeah, I've gone to Europe 3 times now in like the last month.
Fuck, dude.
I'm starting to figure it all out. For anyone that like struggles with sleep, I now like have no lights on like for the last 2 hours before I go to sleep. I don't turn on the TV. I don't look at my phone a few hours before I go to sleep, and then I turn on ocean sounds or rain sounds, and I knock out. It's like,
that's sick.
Yeah, and I don't like getting near my bed unless I'm sleeping.
I love that. Yeah, because going to sleep with like the TV on or like the screens on your phone, it's so bad, man. It just stimulates your brain and stuff, and it's just like even more hard to shut down.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's been helpful to you.
Yeah.
And last time we talked, all you guys had out was edging, and now it's just like, bro, like More Than You Know, and One More Time, and now the Dance With Me, the Ramones homage thing, which is so fucking awesome. And then like just these 3 songs, bro. They're like, I'm not sure if these are some of the ones you play me when I went to the studio that time, but like the reaction I see, like I don't look at everything, but it seems like it's been super positive, man.
It's been incredible. We started playing More Than You Know first.
Wow.
And yeah, that song's really cool and different.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I started like doing a couple like tweets on X, just like explaining the songs and how, like kind of like just little bits of information for people who are wondering. But
yeah, I just read the one today. I actually have it pulled up here. The one, the tempo and like how you did it like 5 different times and the different drum kits and all that.
Yeah, like we would experiment with different mics for singing, and then there'd be times like More Than You Know is like really disruptive, sort of, because like I'm playing double bass in the chorus, which is I've never used double bass ever, but
true.
In like the vein of Motorhead, and Tom was like, man, it would be so cool if you did something with double bass. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm not supposed to. That's the best thing about it, because I'm like, obviously like single bass drummer, and I love playing single bass, but yeah, that, and then that bridge of More Than You Know was really inspired by like Black Coffee and like electronic music, and just really when you come to a bridge, doing something different but still suits the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like really fun. And then yeah, like today I talked about like Dance With Me. Like I really figured out like what tempo was like the most danceable tempo, and then instead of just little things, like instead of playing like a normal kind of like mid-tempo punk rock beat in the verse, like make it more dancey. Think of more like Dancing With Myself, like Billy Idol, like simplicity with the kicks and whatever else. And then yeah, like at one point, like when we did the demo, it was the Ole Ole Ole's, and then I challenged Tom and I was like, man, try to write lyrics. Let's just see the same melodies but see what it sounds like. And then I got him in love with the lyrics, and he was like, that has to be the chorus. And then I'm like, the Olays is stronger, and any 3-year-old child that hears it can listen to it and,
totally.
And know it right away. And if you play it at a show, immediately the crowd knows it. It's the catchiest thing. It's the equivalent to Nanas for us back in the day. So yeah, we ended up making like the other idea for a chorus, the outro post-chorus, and just cool things like that. And then I ended up recording those drums 5 different times on 5 completely different drum kits.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You've never done that before on any songs?
I do it all the time.
Okay.
Like I did it on Kenny Hoopla's album. I did it on Shigun Kelly. I did it on this Blink album so many times, but I'll sit with something and I'll think that snare's not right, or it could be way more fitting for the song if I used even a different ride cymbal, like a dry ride cymbal compared to a more washy crash ride cymbal. Everything counts. It's the equivalent of a hollow body guitar or a Fender Strat or whatever, like even there's so many songs that were like that. Like One More Time, we recorded it with several different acoustic guitars before we figured out that Taylor was the best one.
So how anal, how anal and perfectionist are you with stuff? And like how many takes do you give it to? Like, okay, I fixed this and I tweaked this and I did this. Okay, I got to stop now. I could just keep going on and keep hearing something every single day in that song. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So for me, I'm not really like, I like equipment, and I have obviously like cool drums and guitars and basses and keyboards. But for me, performance is more important than any of the sounds. And all these songs, like the performance was already there. I already knew, like, I love these drum parts, but that snare isn't vibing and it doesn't fit with these guitars and this vocal, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that kind of stuff. So like, I'm never really messing around with parts so much. It's more sounds. And I love it. It's easy. Once I know the song, I'm like, okay, set up a new kit. Okay, set up a new kit.
Yeah.
And then maybe just go back to that kit, but let's use this same snare drum. And that's where you really kind of go into just finding like the sweet sound. Like One More Time originally had a huge instrumental outro.
Okay.
And then I figured there's so much emotion and the lyrics are saying so much.
Yeah.
Like why should the instrumentation step on the song?
I agree.
And why don't I make that like the focus of the song? Just the melodies and the words that are being said, you know?
Yeah, that shit's so. I mean, are you singing on that song too? Actually, because in the video you are obviously, but
yeah,
that's cool. I mean, that song. I mean, the first time you guys played it live was just on this tour, right?
Yeah, it was so special. Like you could hear, we were in Italy.
Wow.
And as you know, like crowds in Italy are insane.
Dude, crowds in Europe are man, it's amazing.
Yeah, they're just like, Europe goes hard.
Yes.
And they were louder than us. Like they had to keep adjusting our ears all night because every song they were louder than us. Even the brand new ones, like they knew every word, and they're just the best crowds out here.
Yeah, that song is so emotional. Like I watched the video a bunch of times, listened to the song, gave me goosebumps. To just knowing you guys and everything you've been through, and just the lyrics are pretty much just straightforward about everything, and it's like it's got to be a very therapeutic song to even perform, and it's just it's awesome.
Yeah, that song makes me like emotional live, and like I think a lot of different people have a lot of different ways of writing songs. Some people get in the room with a lot of writers. Some people have songs pitched to them.
Yeah.
And when it came to producing this album and writing this album, I just had that epiphany. It really takes something catastrophic for our band to make a great album at that, and do a world tour.
Yeah.
It takes something awful to happen, and I'm like, why? And instead of racking my brain thinking of all these things to write about, it dawned on me, I need to write about this, because this is something that's always on my head,
Yeah, because it's never really been addressed before, let alone, I mean, it's been addressed before probably in some interviews and stuff, but never really, like, I don't know, just pretty like straightforward about it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's awesome, man. I think the fans and people that love the band and been with you guys forever and just know the story, it's just like they really appreciate that. You know what I mean? You can just feel it in the song too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like they lived through it with us.
Yes.
They watched all this. Everything we're talking about, they're like, oh, I remember that. Like.
Yeah, and I love like the nod to Fugazi. This is not our album cover. For like,
oh, dude, I didn't even think about that.
Okay, well now I just said it. So like,
we were in, where were we? We were on the first part of the European tour, and they were like, you have to turn in the album cover, and I'm like, well, we don't have it yet. Like, the album cover will be revealed right before the album drops.
Okay.
With album dropping on DSPs, but
because I took it as Fugazi. This is not a Fugazi T-shirt, you know.
No, that's wild. I didn't even thought of that. That makes it even cooler. Now, you know what I was inspired by? Was we were sitting there and they're like, if we don't turn in the album cover, this, and that. I was like, put up, this is not our album cover.
Dude.
And it's really based off a number 9 shirt, that Japanese brand. It's like a clothing brand.
Yeah.
And they have big word shirts that say like "fuck me, I'm tired," or "touch me, I'm sick," whatever. Like cool like shirts. And I'm like, it should be like a number 9 shirt, but just this is not our album cover, you know?
Yeah.
And we ended up doing it. But
I totally took it as Fugazi thing. I was like, yo, this is probably Travis's idea. I don't know. I just saw it as that because it's like,
dude, I love that. No, yeah, it was like my idea because I didn't want just a happy face up there, or like I wanted something people would talk about.
Yeah, so. Yeah, it's awesome. So there'll be an album coming out when the album comes, obviously. Yeah.
So I wish I could just go back in time and be like, "Yep, Toby, I did it. I did it based off Fugazi."
And just the way that I was like, dude, is this going to be like on the album? I know it's crazy, but yeah. So the songs are sick. I'm stoked to hear the rest of the record. It's, yeah, man. It's out. What's the date it's out again?
October 20th.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So this will be out after. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm really stoked. And the last time I talked to you, like, yeah, these weren't out, and just hearing these, I was like, so cool, man. Like, just psyched to hear the rest of it, and glad you're doing well out there. And shows are going good, and you'll be back for your baby and for Halloween, your favorite holiday. That's perfect timing, you know?
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's awesome because the baby's coming supposedly on Halloween, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Halloween probably the earliest. I mean, anything could happen because we did have a surgery, so it kind of makes it could happen anytime. But I think the earliest Halloween and the latest first week in November.
It's amazing. And then also one thing I talked to you about on the last call too, I've been writing some stuff down, just like you're being like an entrepreneur, and you've always been smart, like in maybe buying your first house, just investing in things, obviously Crossroads, Barker Wellness, but you've always been pretty much smart with your stuff and investing and into stuff that you love, right?
Yeah, I've really stuck to things I feel like no one taught me. And
I was going to ask you,
anyone with just like a high school education is like, hey, what do you do with your money? And I just really put my money into things like I really believed in.
Yeah. Smart. But yeah, I remember you always been like that, always like just different things. Even like, I think even like that taco spot, just a bunch of things I remember you being involved in, you know?
Yeah. So that was like, the taco spot didn't work out for me.
Okay.
I
won't even say their name then. Okay.
I ended up like investing in something, and I thought the guy was like a friend. And
okay.
Yeah, and I ended up never getting paid $1.
Oh, that's terrible.
It was insane. So I have learned some hard, tough lessons, but I feel like they say, everything's a lesson, right? You know?
Totally. And then also with you, are you planning on getting your whole like body tattoo, like legs, everything, right? You keep going, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish my legs, and pretty much only on my legs.
Do you have your ass tatted?
Nope, I have that open too, but I really got to figure out what to put, you know?
This shit's brutal as fuck too, man. It's brutal, man.
It is?
Yeah, I'm glad I did it. Just there's so many nerves in your butt. It's like people don't think of it as like a soft tissue. There's so many different nerves in there. It was. I like I had Kat Von D do it. She has a really amazing light hand on the stuff I got from her in there. But that and the feet and just. Yeah, and then also like tattooing over some of your scars from the burns too. That you can do that too.
Yeah, it took a little while. My legs are 90% grafts from burns. Yeah, and I couldn't touch them for a minute because all the nerve endings were so sensitive, and
that's gotta be brutal.
And the skin, I found out like the skin was so fragile. It was so thin. So over time, it just toughened up, and I've been like tattooing my legs and my knees and everything. So the hardest time, or the hardest part about it, is just finding a time I'm okay with not sweating and not running and not going in cold plunge or and a swimming pool. But I'm gonna do it. I'll probably get a lot done when I'm home because I'll be with the baby, you know.
Yeah. Also, I want to give a shout out to the Augusta Burn Center. I was doing some research on that in Atlanta, that you went and visited after that, and they really took care of you and pretty much saved your life. And I know you give back to that community too as well. It's awesome.
Yeah, the Augusta Burn Center and the Grossman Burn Center in Los Angeles like saved my life. And yeah, I don't think anyone ever thinks about being burnt until you're burnt.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, totally.
I never thought about it until I was on fire, and nothing comes to you. Like, you don't remember Stop, Drop, and Roll or
No, 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 no.
any of those things, or I couldn't even like explain to you the severity of burns. But yeah, like any chance I get to give back to like Dr. Grossman or the Augusta Burn Center, I always do. And sad, I mean, the majority of people that are in there are babies and
That's
kids.
Crazy. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Who have been like burnt because they were like playing near a stove or it's awful. Yeah.
And so for the rest of your life, will you feel those places on your body, or does it get better, like just like the tissue and stuff? Does that something the rest of your life you'll have to deal with?
So like my right foot is majority a graft, probably 60-70% of it, and
Wow.
I couldn't. It almost felt like it was a foreign.
It wasn't connected to your body.
Attached. Yeah, it didn't feel like it was attached to my body forever. And some nights I would just think, is it ever going to feel like it's part of my body? And yeah, my right foot was almost amputated, so I got really, really lucky.
Wow, man.
Yeah, now I feel it, and I can I used to not be able to walk with my shoes off. It was insane, but now it's pretty chill. And like I said, like I think Steve Webby tattooed my knee, and so did Chubby. And both of them were like, how are you just sitting through this knee and shin? And it was just like any other part of my body. It's fine now, thankfully.
Yeah. You probably take pain. Probably getting tattoos is probably really nothing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
How that is.
I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good with tattoo pain.
Yeah. Also, you still got your mini ramp?
No, it was like before one Blink tour. I was back there skating and not even doing anything cool, like like a fakie, a rock and roll to fakie, and I like twisted my ankle, and it was like days before a tour, and I went on that tour like limping, and I just saw like my band was like, "Are you serious right now?"
Yeah.
So like
get rid of it,
I'll still I'll skate to like the store. I'll skate like if I'm like on vacation or but dude,
you can't afford that. Like that.
I'm gonna stick to running and riding bikes.
No, that's good. And then
I was so jealous when I saw you and Max at the barracks the other day.
Yeah.
And I was like, that looks so fun.
It's fun to cruise around and stuff. And they're like, I'm not really a street guy, but Max rips it. I'm more of a ramp guy, but like, yeah, it's fun, especially if my wife works there, so we can go there when it's empty and you can just cruise. And it's like, yeah, if you're going to go there and just cruise around, it's fun. It's just a cool spot. It's just like legendary spot. And then also, finally, when I was thinking about the other day too, like just about like your like what you think punk rock is. It's like there's no blueprint to this shit. There's no style. There's no certain sound. Especially now, it's thriving punk rock and hardcore. There's all different looks and styles and all types of all walks of life playing hardcore now. And like especially being in Blink-182, where like obviously people will say, well, this is pop and this is that, but I feel like it's punk and hardcore. Like it's not a particular sound. And what at where you're at in your life now, at your age, with the band and everything, for you, it's been a part of your life your whole life. But do you kind of agree with it too? It's just something inside of you. It's like more of a spirit and how you live your life.
Yeah, it's a spirit. It's how you conduct yourself. It's how you think. It's how you treat people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to me, pop is pop. It's undeniable what pop is. It's
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, turn on the radio or I don't know, just look at like pop culture. Those are like, I don't even want to say any names, but that's totally pop.
Yeah.
And then bands that go and play guitar and play drums and bass and I don't know, don't care what anybody thinks and just do their thing. Like, I think it's like being who you are without compromise.
100%.
Also being like I don't know, for me, just being who you are without compromise, but also like being good to people. Like, I don't know, that's not really the punk rock part about it, but I'm like making sure you do that while you don't give a fuck and you are who you are without compromise. Make sure no one's like, to do it tastefully,
Yeah, it could be like, fuck that or fuck this or fuck that, but also take care of each other, family, all that shit. But like, fight the fight together against, I agree with that. And also this, even like, people can say that Ramones, were the first kind of, if you want to put the word pop and punk together, and the Descendants like singing these love songs, and it was more like melodic and more catchy, and it was more you can sing along to, you can understand what they were saying, and had these choruses and stuff. People talk about that all the time, like where that kind of came from, like the melody in punk rock. You know what I mean? Because I don't think punk rock has to be like Anarchy in the UK and fuck your parents and fuck this and fuck that. It could also be like, can be love songs. It can be like, for hardcore, it's like, let's fix it. Let's make this world a better place. Let's talk about animal rights and human rights. And do you know what I mean? Like there's different, it's lyrics and everything for me too. It's just like, there's all different styles of this music, but to label like one certain thing, that's only punk. I was never really down with that, and the gatekeeping and just like who makes the rules of what this is supposed to sound like or look like. And I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like, it's how you live your life. It's the spirit. It's how you carry yourself on a day-to-day level in society with other humans. And just like you were saying,
Yeah, it's so hard because within the genre, what you could say, like H2O is a hardcore band or punk rock band. It's, the same family,
Yeah.
And then you have like the Ramones or the Descendants who are like really melodic, and they might talk about love. It's still punk rock.
Totally.
You have like, Sick of It All, or you have like Earth Crisis, or you have Gorilla Biscuits, and then you still have, like Jawbreaker. They all sound so different. You have Fugazi, but they're all rooted. They come from the same spirit. They 100%. Come from the same place.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So like, it's just such an amazing thing. It's came such a long way, and there's so many different styles, and now it's just like bigger than ever in a great way, and seeing everybody kill it and tour. And even though the older bands and the bands that got back together, and just everybody, I don't know, just such a love and such a passion for it in 2023. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think it when you see it. When you see a band live and they're like firing off songs one after another, and you just know when you're watching or you're witnessing a punk rock band versus when you're not. You know?
Yeah.
You can feel it.
Yeah. And then finally, probably one of your favorite songs of my songs from GB, Cats and Dogs. Are you a cat person or a dog person?
I'm a dog person.
Same. No disrespect to cats. I like cats. No disrespect.
No, me either. I actually love them. I'm highly allergic. They're really cool looking. They're cute. Like whatever. Yeah. But like that and like whatever cats I've had, like when I'm sleeping, they've like attacked my feet or like done weird things. So I'm way more of like a dog person. Like on this tour the other day, someone walked by me and they had an English bulldog, and I needed that 5 minutes I had with that dog. So it was so awesome. I'm a dog person.
Yeah, respect. So you never had cats growing up then?
No, I did. I had a girlfriend who insisted on having a cat, and it was really miserable for me. I was so allergic, and I was just, my eyes were watering, my nose was running.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's brutal.
I toughed it. I toughed it out for a long time.
Did it for love. But yeah, shout out to the
the things you do for love.
All right, awesome, man. Well, thank you for your time again. It's like 1:45 in the morning there. Fuck, man, you gotta get some sleep and shut down all your electronics and shit. And no, but I appreciate you so much, Travis. And I'm psyched for the songs. I'm stoked the tour is going well. I'm stoked for the record. I'm happy for you guys, and it's just cool seeing you guys out there and playing together again. And it's awesome, man. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Toby.
Thank you, brother. And I'll see you soon.
All right, brother.
All right, safe travels. Bye.
Peace. Thank you.
All right, here we go.
Oh.
Can you hear me now, T?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, it's way better. I'm gonna watch
okay, cool.
I'm gonna watch the video in a second. But dude, congratulations on #1 record. I think the last #1 record was California in 2016, like #1 Billboard, correct?
Yeah.
This is crazy, dude.
It's insane. I guess it's like, Ron Perry called me this morning and was like, it's also the first #1 rock album in over a year.
Oh wow, it's all been hip hop and stuff.
Yeah, it's all been pop and like rap, you know.
Holy shit, that's amazing, man! Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. I told him a week ago. I'm like, man, I would be really proud if we got a #1 album or a Grammy. And he's like, dude, I don't think so. I think it's like really optimistic, but Drake's probably gonna get #1. And then he calls me with this news today. It was just incredible.
So this is Drake's first week as well?
I think it's his first or second week. Yeah.
Wow, man. It's so sick. And I just saw that Denny's thing you guys did too. Like a friend of mine's friend was there, and like you did like a signing, and then like 20 people got invited to go to Denny's. You just did the video real quick there. That's crazy too.
Yeah, we did it like it was kind of reversed. Like we did it. We found like at midnight we started calling places the night before. We found someone in Long Beach because like I guess all Denny's are independently owned.
I didn't know that.
And we just found one person that was like, "Yep, you can use our back room." Like, so we used that, and there was people eating, and it was so fun, man. It felt like the shows all started off playing where it's like a cramped room and everyone's going crazy. It was awesome.
So it's like just normal people eating, the civilians, and there's eating.
Yeah. Damn. And then like a bunch of fans, and then we did like a 5-hour signing at a record store in Long Beach. It was really cool.
So sick, man. Like everything for this record, like the video, just everything you guys have done for it. It's really, obviously, not that it paid off, but just people really fucked with it. I saw something yesterday on my YouTube about people being interviewed about their favorite Blink records and Blink songs at We Were Young. And a lot of people were saying Anthem Part 3. It's really cool, like them talking about newer songs too.
Yeah. I think it's really rare for a band this late in their career to make an album like we did.
Yeah, but it's awesome. Yeah, and you producing a lot of it. And I also saw on there Robert Smith's name for "Fell in Love." Is that Robert Smith from The Cure?
Yeah. So what I did is like I was in this session and I was writing "Fell in Love," and I was kind of messing around with drum patterns and bass patterns, and I was like, "Close to Me" is like the best.
That's what I wrote. Yeah, down. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "Close to Me" is such a vibe, and like maybe do an interpolation of just like the rhythm section. So I did it, and then when we turned it in, I hit up Robert Smith and I said, "Hey, can I play you something?" Like, I was really, really inspired by "Close to Me," and I think you deserve something on it. And yeah, like so that's how he's involved. Is I was really inspired by Close to Me, and wrote the song, wrote all the lyrics and everything. Like me and my friend Ryan Tedder and my friend Nick kind of were like in this jam session. We didn't even mean to write a Blink song. We were just writing, doing all sorts of stuff. We always get together in a room and just write songs.
Yeah.
And then I just had this idea, and I'm like, man, can you guys flesh this out with me? And yeah, it turned into Fell in Love, and it's like the one song on the album that's like really, really based on like my relationship. And
got you.
Yeah, and to have Robert Smith was like I forget what he said, but he said something so rad that I'm like, only Robert Smith would say that. Like he was just so excited about it and so down.
That's cool.
I don't even think he wanted publishing, and I said no, like I wouldn't have it any other way. I have to give you something because this was inspired by you.
Yeah, dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's close to yeah. As soon as I heard it, I was like, that's why. Boom, 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 boom.
It's like
yeah, it's perfect. And then Fuckface, you sing that song, which is awesome too. You talk too much?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was saying like that was my love letter just to the internet.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. And that's like the first song you really sang on a Blink record, right? Like that.
Yeah, so there was like I was doing this project at the time, and it was like an NFT thing, and it was like, we need music. So I was like, oh, I'll make a hardcore EP in like a few hours. And Tim Armstrong was already coming over, and we were working on something. So I was like, hey, I'm going to bust out 5 songs. I'll play drums, play bass, play whatever, sing, and you play guitar. And so we did it. And that's one of those songs that came out. I think I sent you it.
Yeah.
I think
the
I
ones
sent
you
it
sing
a long time ago.
Yeah, you did. So this is one of them.
Yeah. And then one day I was like, I played it for Tom And he's like, this is sick. This needs to go on the album. And I'm like, you're joking, right? You know, like I was like, wasn't playing him with that intention. And he's like, can I get on it? Like, can I go back and forth with you? And I was like, yeah. And then that's how that song came about.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. And Dance With Me, there's so many Fell in Love. One More Time, obviously, More Than You Know. Definitely songs about Robert who passed. I definitely feel that in some of the songs.
Yeah, Other Sides about Robert.
Yeah, man. That shit's heavy. It's Bad News, Turpentine, Hurt. That shit's like, it's a really perfect album in front to back. I've been running to it too. I just like, just the different sounds and speeds and melodies, and I don't know. I feel like it's a classic already, you know?
Yeah, I'm really proud of it. I find like I've had it happen a couple times in my career where I can do exactly what you said, like run to it or run out to it.
Yeah.
And that's when I know like I've made a classic. Like I'm like, you want to play every song off the album.
Yeah.
You're working out to the album. You're leaving places and you hear people blaring the album. It's like, dude, it's unreal.
And do you listen to the record a bunch since it's been out already, or after you do it, or you kind of just like move on to the next thing kind of?
Well, for me, producing it and like figuring out like the order of the songs in which they were going to go and all that stuff, I had listened to it so much.
Damn.
That when I turned it in, I knew I had like every stone was turned. You know, I like did everything and it was exactly how I wanted to present it to everyone. So then, man, like when you play these songs live and they know every word, it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but like when you see it work, it's like it's the best feeling I could ever describe. And to see like fans
you're so receptive
the way
to
they
it.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. I mean, you know how it is. I think we've all made albums where we make an album and we're like, I'm only going to listen to a couple songs off that album, you know, or play a couple. I mean, even in Blink, like we're like, oh, like Dogs Eating Dogs. We're going to play like Dogs Eating Dogs off that EP every once in a while. But you know, you made a great body of work when you want to play all the songs, you're working out to it. It's just like, everything fell into place with this album. Almost like so scary. So like, with the rollout of this album, with the sold out tour and like the album being number one and One More Time, like the song going number one, it's like, yo, pinch me or wake me up. Like, am I dreaming? Like,
it's so cool though, man.
This is just, couldn't ask for more. Like never could have imagined, you know?
And then like, I saw you just dropping some famous stuff too right now too.
Yeah. I did the first drop of Famous Stars and Straps, like first collection came out. And it's
awesome.
Only direct to customer. Yeah.
Wow.
So I love that. I love just it coming straight from us, and there's no middleman and there's no retailers involved. I love it. That's how it started. And I love bringing it back that way.
Yeah. It's cool, man. It's been a minute since you had something new out too. And the timing's perfect also, you know?
Yeah.
It's so cool. And then, one more thing I was going to ask you too about the producing the record. Oh, we were talking too just the other day, just about like that Alaska airline things. We were talking about flying and all that. And the last time we talked, but then you were talking about you coming home from the last tour, and we talked about that the flight attendant when the pilot who was like on mushrooms, and that was a scary situation. Do you try to like read into that stuff and just like, okay, that's the news, and just, or does that stuff kind of trigger you when you hear stuff like that?
So I have a Google alert with anything plane related.
Oh,
unfortunately.
Fuck, seriously?
Like, dude, yeah. And you know what? Even if I don't check my email, it somehow finds me and I see it. Like, I think,
wow.
I think it was the day I got back from Vegas, and I didn't fly to Vegas or fly home because to me, I'm like, I got so lucky the whole tour. I flew it so many times, and it's just Vegas. I'm going to take the bus. So I get home, and on the news, like that morning, there was a flight that was like popping a wheelie at the gate where like they couldn't keep the plane down and it was just up in the air. And I was like, oh, that doesn't make me feel great, you know? And then the next thing I saw on the news was this off-duty pilot tried getting in the cockpit and attempted to turn off the engines mid-flight and tried to kill everybody. Like that's my biggest fear, that something like that happens, you know, or anything plane related happens. But and to find out he's on mushrooms and
it's crazy. Man, it's like a movie, dude.
Dude, it's like a movie. It's like an awful movie. Maybe there'll probably be a Netflix documentary about it, but to see him like, dude, like 83 counts of attempted murder. It's absolutely like,
fuck, dude.
That's the worst horror story, like worst nightmare story you could ever imagine, you know?
Yeah. It's actually like a horror movie. Do you know what I mean? Like, snakes on the plane is one thing, but this other shit, like in real life, dude, on mushrooms it's really nuts.
I was so thankful to be home and be done with tour.
Yeah.
And have no flights on my book when I saw it. Because if I was still on tour and I saw that, it would have definitely like triggered my
dude,
anxiety, anticipation when it comes to flying that I still have.
Yeah. Do you I know you had like a T-shirt like "Thank God for Punk Rock," and I know you have like religious tattoos, and I think you're raised Catholic, correct?
Yeah.
Do you still have a pretty strong faith with God and stuff, especially all the stuff you've been through? Maybe feel more connected to that, or?
Yeah, 100%. I have like a whole regimen of like breath work that I do before I get on a plane. My friend Howard, who's like works with energy, and I listen to his prayers all the time. And I'm like still like go to church.
Oh, that's awesome.
I still pray every day. I pray before every show. I pray before I go to sleep every night. So
you've always been like that. Yeah. And you were raised Catholic too, right?
Yeah, I went to like Catholic school when I was a kid.
Wow. Okay, that's cool, man. Yeah, man. Because you don't really talk about it as much. That's like your personal beliefs. You know what I mean? Like obviously, people know you have like Mary on your head. You know what I mean? You have religious stuff, but like a lot of people get that stuff because they like how it looks. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like traditional, classic, but I know you have faith and all that stuff, and I'm sure that you have a connection with everything you've been through as well. You know?
Yeah, I was raised Catholic. Go to Christian church now. Got married by a Christian pastor.
Okay.
But I take little bits and pieces of everything. I'm also
of course.
Yeah, I like. There's things about Buddhism that I really love. There's things like my friends that are different religions than me that I can be inspired by. I believe in it all. And I believe there's a higher power, and I believe in prayer.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then what about sobriety for you these days? I know you had a moment where you were kind of wilding out for a second when actually a while back, and you've been sober for a while, and you go back and forth with stuff like that, or I know because you have Barker Wellness, which that stuff's not THC, that's just like other stuff that you could use for pain and stuff. But I mean, is you're pretty chill with your life with that stuff, or?
I always kind of explain like my story as far as like me sobering up, detoxing. My rehab was when I was in a burn center for 6 months after I was in my plane crash.
Yep.
I didn't do anything. That was the hardest. For anyone that like read my book, I would wake up in the middle of surgeries, and I would be like wide awake, swinging on doctors because I self-medicated so much that like none of their pain meds would work. So I really had a tough time. Long story short, 6 months in a burn center, left the burn center, never, plus the amount of drugs they were feeding me in the burn center.
I'm sure.
Rightfully so, because I needed them and I was in a lot of pain. I never wanted to put another thing in my body again. So since then, since 2008 or 2009, I haven't touched opiates or smoked weed.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Then about 10 years after the plane crash, 12 years after the plane crash, I could have like a drink every once in a while, like a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Like alcohol was never my thing. Like I could have a glass of wine and then not drink for 4 months, 5 months. It's not really my thing. It's more something I would have at dinner.
Yeah.
And now for the last 9 months since my wife's been pregnant, I haven't had like a drink at dinner. I haven't had anything.
Wow.
Like, when I have surgery or if I have like dental work, I don't even like taking Advil. I don't, alcohol serves no good purpose in my life, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I will never take opiates again. And I really enjoyed my time smoking weed. I was also very, 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 very addicted to it.
Wow.
As I was opiates, and I would never, even play around with the idea.
Yeah, I remember running into you when you were on that stuff, and it wasn't even you. It was like I was like, fuck. Yeah, I remember that part of your life, man, too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I really, and I said something the other day, and I was like, you know, for a long time I used to think, oh no, this assists me. It assists my creativity. It makes me do this. It does this. And I can tell you, like, I've had a long time of doing nothing, and especially even the last 9 months, not one drink, not one anything. Like, I'm more creative than I've ever been, and I feel greater than I've ever been, and you don't need any of that stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I'm proud of you, man. You had a crazy journey, man, crazy life and experiences. You're a survivor. You're a fucking inspiration for so many people, and to me, you're like not human. Like, I feel like you never sleep. You're a machine. You never stop practicing. You're always playing drums. You're always producing shit. It's super inspiring. It's also tiring. I'm like, this motherfucker needs to sleep sometimes. Because it's nonstop. Hopefully when the baby comes, you guys can chill. You know what I mean? The baby's due any minute. It's crazy, man. Rocky's coming, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, Rocky is coming. It's like any day. Like, my wife is so big right now. Like, her tummy is so big. Like, not her whole body. Like, the rest of her exterior is completely the same. She just has this 8-pound little boy in her that's ready to come out. So it's like, yeah, it's wild.
It's a whole new life about this story. And also shout out to Courtney, who, you know, a couple weeks ago I sent you some cookies. It's a company that's like independent, like gluten-free, fucking barely any, no refined sugars, amazing cookies. I sent to you guys just on the strength that, you know, she was going through it. I want to send you guys a gift. And then like last week, she just randomly posted like a month later and shouted the company up. It's a small independent company called Maxine's Heavenly. It was really sweet of her to do that. Like, I didn't even know, I just sent you guys cookies, and it was really cool, like, for her to do that. You know, it was really sweet. So.
No, that was very kind of you. She loved them. She ate them in bed. Like, let me tell you, like, she was, I didn't say like, hey, can you post this?
I
like,
know.
She loves those cookies, you know?
It's so cool because I know people like try to pay them to do ads and promote all this shit, and she just did it because she loved it, and that was really nice. So the owner was really he called me, said, oh my God, I freaked out. It was really nice.
Nah, we love them, and we love our blanket that you and Moon and Max gave us.
Awesome, man.
Really, really appreciate it.
Well, next year we're going to go up to Ian's house when you were playing out there.
I can't wait. I'm ready.
Well, thank you for your time. At this moment, the podcast is out because people are listening, and it was a long journey having you on. You took your time out. You're one of the most busiest friends that I have besides music and your family. You made time. You came to my crib, and I'm really proud of this conversation. And it's, I feel like I got way closer to you just in these phone calls and just sitting down with you because I know you for over 20 years, but really just getting to know you, like really talking to you. So, yeah, I'm really stoked on this shit, and I appreciate you, Trav. And congrats on the new record and the baby and all that shit.
Of course, man. I appreciate you too, and I know how busy you are and how equally productive you are, and just what a good influence you are for kids.
Thank you, man.
People.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, we'll get some.
Thank you so much, Toby.
Of course, we'll get some matchas soon, and yeah, man. Have a great rest of your day.
Of course, man. You too. Much love, Toby.
All right, brother. You too. Bye.
All right. Peace.
I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swiped the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life, One Chance podcast is now with Removery. I have a code. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. Call 866-934-4570 or go to Removery.com. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done. 100 locations, U.S., Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology, cryotechnology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Once again, go to Removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out.